64 gigabytes of fucking RAM.
See,
I'm not even fucking with that one though, because I'm thinking budget concerns. Yeah,
Right,
but I'm
right.
also thinking upgrading.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I have 16 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm,
So if I go and get the 32 gigabyte one,
yeah,
and I save money because I still get the 1 terabyte SSD
mm-hmm.
for my game. What the fuck? 2 terabytes for the HDD.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
I'm
It's worth it to do it.
I need that link.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Probably not gonna get the same one because you
Probably not, but look at the specs. That shit was highly impressive to me. And it's funny because my wife and Marissa was over there talking about it on the phone. And I guess Marissa said something, that's a Tombstone computer. I said, yes,
That's
it
funny.
is. Yes, it most certainly is.
That's hilarious, actually.
So let me do my sharing shit.
That was crazy. I used to, if you used to, okay, there we go. I used to actively collect watches. I use the word actively because I still got them. I just don't.
Yeah, you don't collect them.
I'm
glad you don't, because that is such an old man thing to do that it's like my grandfather used to do that shit. Mm-hmm. I used to collect watches.
No,
that's such an old man thing to do.
I loved that shit, yo. Like, loved. Absolutely. I can't remember what started it. When? Oh, I happened to see. Oh my goodness, this is what started it. So, I'm a Ravens fan. My homeboy had this purple and black watch. And I was like, yo, that shit hard. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what's it called? It's from Invicta, but the name of that imprint,
Venom. Yeah, his nigga's gonna get that. Like, come on.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Watch this. Sure enough, shortly thereafter, I was the proud owner of an Invicta Venom wristwatch. And then I just kept getting Invictus. It was only Invictus. I just kept getting Invictus, mainly because the site that I was getting them from allowed you to break them down into payments. So I would go ahead, grab one, do the payments, and then like right before my last payment, I would go ahead and grab another one. And kept that going. Yo, I don't have all of them anymore. Some of them broke.
Right.
But yeah, I still have most of them. And all of the batteries are dead. But I was never wearing them to count to see what the time was anyway. I have a phone.
Right.
I don't know.
That's another reason why it's such an old man thing to do. That's such an old man. Did you have the little one that you hold in your hand like this?
No, only wristwatches. No. Can't remember, no pocket watches. Only wristwatches.
I think I'm getting that Edith glasses.
Yo, I don't blame you. I've been looking for Bluetooth headphones with the conduction. So are they only prescription? Or can you get them?
No. They don't need to be prescription. In fact, you have to go to like LensCrafter or something like that to get prescription put.
Okay, cool. Then I might get some.
Nigga, to be able to fact check on the fly without pulling my phone out, you crazy? I'll be make phone calls.
Well, I don't really use that.
I mean, you're gonna look crazy for a while because the Luddites.
I'm walking around with fucking headphones. I mean, Bluetooth headphones that nobody can ever see because of my hair. So yeah, I already.
You already look crazy. Basically, you already look crazy, right?
I was having a whole conversation with Fab one day, and my coworker was responding to me. And then I got off the phone. I'm like, yo, you couldn't tell I was on the phone?
And he was like, what phone?
Well, no. He just said no. But, yeah, that's how it is thing.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
I would absolutely.
I need that in my life.
Consider getting those.
I need it.
Yeah.
From now on, there'll be a blurring of the lines between need and want. Why
no, we're having a trial today, Fabo.
We're
having a trial today.
I mean, I ain't know about the trial until we got live, but Clark Kent designed the day rules. Just saying.
Here's what it is.
I mean,
why are these files so fucking big? I mean, I know why. I realize what it is.
4K.
No, not just 4K. It's the 4K, but it's also the S-Log.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't use S-Log, I realize that my 4K files are nowhere near as big, and they work perfectly in DaVinci without me having to convert them. But
listen,
whenever I use S-Log,
that's weird though, because I use S-Log for my Sony, and the only problems I really actually have is playing the video with the video player. Like, it's stutters, but the moment I put it in DaVinci, it's cool. Ken, what's going on, man? Down there in tropical Brazil? Is that where you at now, Ken? Brazil? I wish I was someplace tropical.
Don't miss location identify him.
I wish I was someplace tropical.
Clearly.
I need to be able to walk out my door and see some palm trees.
I have an ulterior meaning.
Nope.
I want to be tropical.
And what's that?
I can't say it on the show.
Who? Medellin. That's what Ken's at.
Medellin. So Colombia, right? Is that the Medellin or Medellin or? It's going to be hard for you to answer that question through text. I know, but
it is. It really is.
I apologize in advance.
I don't know if that's a question that can actually be answered.
I'm sorry.
In this format,
I didn't think. I wasn't thinking. Honestly, when I asked that question. I am curious though. Hey, Betty.
Hey, Betty, what's going on? And happy belated.
Happy belated.
So Ken says actually it's temperate here. The city of eternal spring. Listen.
Oh, that's perfect.
Listen.
Hold up. Here's the thing. I think that we've misled the people.
Yeah, probably.
We don't need it to be hot. We just need it to not be cold.
There it is.
Yeah. Man. No. It doesn't have a good 70.
Woo!
Consistently?
Eternal spring?
Yeah. Oh.
Let me tell you about me and this dude.
Medellin, okay. But in this Medellin there. Got you.
That's
what I thought.
Okay. Let me tell you something, man. As much every year since we started this whole multi-world thing, we look forward to spring.
Yeah.
And we always say, are we going to actually, because we live in Maryland, so are we actually going to get a spring this year? Right. Meaning, is the cold going to last all the way till May, and then May is hot as shit. So basically, we got winter and then summer.
The 60s at night, I can live with that.
Yes.
I can sleep outside in that.
60s?
Come on now.
I'm over here doing cartwheels in my backyard when it's 60 degrees.
Bruh, it was 63 the other night. And I was like, oh. This is delightful.
Oh, I'm just saying.
How do I contact you more often, Miss 63 at night?
I need that.
I would like to start a relationship with you. I'll put a ring on it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, this is, I am done with anything below 60. Like, I might tolerate 55, some shit like that. But if below 60 is really like a cutoff, it's not a hard cutoff, but it's definitely a cutoff. Like, oh man, I can't. I laughed at Adequate the other day when I was talking to him. He was talking this that dumb shit about hoodies with shorts and flip flops because that was his swag in Florida.
That is stupid.
This is what they do. And I said to him, I said, "What's the purpose? If you're going to wear a hoodie, why are you wearing shorts?"
No, here's what it is. Really, they're not what we would generally consider to be hoodies. Usually,
the one I saw him with was a hoodie.
Nah, yo. Usually they're super thin. Like
it's possible.
Uber thin. Yeah.
It looks maybe it looked very thick because he's very thin. I don't know.
Usually they're very thin. They're only hoodies in the sense that they have hoods.
I'm still not gonna wear it. Like I'm not.
Oh no, I mean, look, I might. I honestly might rock a short sleeve hoodie on my.
They're only to me. They're only good for like if I'm shooting a video and I need that look. Then and I'm in someplace warm like that. Then yeah, absolutely put that on because why would I put on a big thick ass winter hoodie?
No, yo, I'm a backpacker, so
you're a backpacker. Oh,
yeah, no. So the hoodie and the backpack is kind of
ass.
Yo, it just is. It just is what it is. Like that's like close to my ultimate.
No, what you actually are is part of the prosecution today. And what's crazy about you being part of the prosecution? There is no defense. That's the part that's crazy. There is no defense.
There's no defense. But yeah, it is. I mean, listen, we don't get into it. There's SPJ won't be on the show today until probably like the second half. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he'll be back. We're not going. The order that the docket is in, we're not doing that. This second part is going first.
The trial first. The trial definitely will be first.
The trial's first. Then we can bring it.
And plus, it fits because of my particular what grinds my gears today. It slides right into that, so that shit just makes sense to do that first. It just
all right. Let's get started.
Let's get started. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
SPJ is not here today. I am James, simply James.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks and one member of prosecution talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
I will be providing the facts today.
Providing the facts indeed. Now, we have some stories today. We're not loaded down with it, but some of these are going to kind of pretty much dominate because there's a lot to talk about with this.
Indeed.
But before we even get close to that,
good morning, Miss Redfield.
This nigga. What's up, Cindy? So before we get into that, ordinarily around this time, I would talk about what my week's been like. And I do kind of want to do that, but it's just a mountain of frustration. My computer is in the last of its days. And that means that it was a bunch of frustration for me this week because it was things I could not do for a large part of the week. Also, even trying to
pardon me. Good morning, Mr. Wallace.
What up, Greg? Also, even trying to record, like using this mic, this the thing just would not cooperate. And it made it completely trash. But nothing frustrated me more than seeing this shit. And this is where I have to now slide into the thing that really grinds my gears this week. Senator Tim Scott. Shame on you. Senator Tim Scott, for those of you who don't know, is the only Black Republican in the Senate. He went on Fox News and talked to the Fox News host Trey Gowdy, who at one time was a congressman too. And where he said that woke supremacy is as bad as white supremacy. We need to take that seriously. And he urged people to read the Bible verse Matthew 5:44, which teaches about loving one's enemies. Senator Tim, you have not only shamed yourself, you have shamed your family and your ancestors. You just have. Woke supremacy? For those of you that might be a little behind on the historic events here in the United States, I'm going to catch you up a bit. But before we do that, we got to go back. We got to go back to the effects of imperialism in Africa, specifically the white supremacy version. Colonialism. Colonialism had a huge impact on the lives of Africans.
Indeed.
Economic policies were adopted by Europeans who destroyed the colonies rather than help them. Africa was damaged economically, politically, and culturally. Africa's traditional lifestyles and cultures were destroyed. The Europeans had no interest in traditional African culture and had no concerns for Africans. There is so much in that, right, that I could go because it would take us all day in this show to talk about the travesty that happens and is still happening right now over there in Africa, and how they purposely have kept it underdeveloped because that's not what they needed for. They needed for raw elements to prop up their decaying civilizations. But okay. Make the connection with what happened over there and what happened over here. Well, they brought Africans over here. Do you know there was a time right around the 1690s when they were roughly bringing around 30,000 Africans here a year? A century later, it had got up to 85,000 a year. An insane amount of people.
Absolutely.
It's an absolute insane amount of people not to come over here to get well-paying jobs and to be treated nice. No. You were brought over here to basically be a pack mule, cattle. They gave no fucks about the type of food you ate because there is a bunch of lies that's been going around, revisionist history, that want to pretend that they treated them better than what they actually did. But allow me to disabuse you of that. Common symptoms amongst the enslaved population included blindness, abdominal swelling, skin lesions, convulsions, diarrhea, dysentery, whooping cough, and a bunch of respiratory diseases, as well as worms. Worms, my nigga. Worms. The infant mortality rate amongst the enslaved is twice as much as their white captors' children. I haven't even gone into Reconstruction, the segregation era, and the shit we see still happening today. How many lives were impacted by it? How the genetic memory of that abuse triggers us, because a lot of people in our community have PTSD. They just do. I'm going to give you a classic example when I was triggered. January 6th. When I saw this crowd of angry white people attacking the Capitol. I had two feelings going on in my head. One, I told you motherfuckers this was going to happen. That's one. Two, there's something disconcerting because a crowd of white people, those type of white people, doing that and acting like that, typically led to somebody getting lynched, their balls getting cut off,
Indeed.
towns being burnt down, churches being burnt down. And it didn't help that they had a bunch of racist memorabilia all over themselves, Confederate flags, dumbass shirts talking about the Holocaust didn't kill enough Jews, that sort of bullshit. So these are all under the auspices of white supremacy. Let's talk about woke supremacy. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm not aware either.
You're not aware either? Good. I don't know what the fuck that is. Because let's look at what it's caused. Your Fifi's got hurt a couple of times. You said something toxic or trash that a historically marginalized group is tired of hearing. They're tired of it. So they came at you and went inside your mouth. You had a couple of people got talked bad about online. They may have lost some money. Then you had some people that I don't think anybody could disagree with. They deserve to have that happen, lose jobs. They should have, because in the position they were in, they were abusing it and abusing marginalized groups because they subscribed to white supremacy. So they got jammed up and made to pay. Who crying over that? Unless you're someone that kind of feels the same way they do and you feel seen. Woke supremacy is not a thing.
Well, hold on. Let's look at the etymology.
Right.
So, if we're taking supremacy to mean,
should Greg call him Uncle Tim's cabin?
I mean, it is.
Woo!
It occurs as it does. If we are looking at supremacy and we're taking it to mean that woke people believe that woke people are the best and should be the dominating ruling class, I don't see an issue with that. If we're taking supremacy to mean that they are in that position, that's simply incorrect.
Yeah, that's the other part. That's what he meant.
Yeah.
That's what he meant. In other words, he tried to put, can you imagine? Show me the woke warriors that attacked the Capitol January 6th. You know why I keep bringing up? You can't. You know why I keep bringing up January 6th? Because there are tiers to public unrest. There are. So a group of angry whoever's decides to firebomb or break windows of your local Target, and they go in there and they steal shit. It's bad. It's not something that should be done. But there is a far cry from doing that than attacking the seat of democracy in a nation, especially when everybody I know has always just thought, if you play stupid games anywhere in the Capitol near them government buildings, you're going to win the stupidest prize of all.
No, I need to correct you for a moment. This has not just been a thought. This has been demonstrated and executed several times over. There was a woman who was murdered for making a U-turn.
Yeah, she was going through some postpartum thing or whatever. And yeah,
making a U-turn. They shot her up.
And what did people say at the time? What were their words to you at the time? Hey man, you know, they not playing if you come across there. It sucks that it happened to her, but that's what people were saying, right?
Yeah, this was not a thought exercise. It was demonstrable. We saw it. And that's what we chalked it up to.
In fact, the times that this has occurred where someone didn't get shot, like the one guy that ran across the lawn, he just got tackled, he didn't get shot. That was surprising to us.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised he didn't catch a 45 slug.
At least a taser.
At least a taser.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that this amount of people can do what they did January 6th and only one person was shot for it.
Miraculous.
It makes you wonder Why the restraint? What's going on? I thought you told us that was a no-no for anybody. Didn't matter who you was, what demographic you come from, what ethnic group. If you attack any of them buildings over there, it's going to get dark for you.
And just to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, who may be listening and think that the use of the word attack is a bit egregious, or that it's a euphemism, or that it's symbolism. No, they literally broke windows. They broke windows. They
attacked police officers.
Yeah, they inflicted violence upon the building itself and the people who were inside of it.
They woke up that morning and chose violence. You said, and they threatened the lives of elected officials, so much so that they even put a noose up there and start yelling, "Hang Mike Pence," who at the time was the vice president of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm. So they declared war on the second highest ranking officer,
which is declaring war on the country.
Yes.
That's simple. You declared war on the country. And yes, a lot of them are getting locked up and being investigated now. Bravo. That does not change the fact that the response to that, the initial response to that, the knee jerk, was to not hold them accountable. That does not change the fact that there are elected officials right now who want to put this shit behind us. They want to, let's not talk about that anymore. Well, I mean, let's have a mulligan. Right? There are still elected officials right now that are spewing the bullshit that was coming out of the mouths of the former president and was feeding into the heads of these people, that somehow an election was stolen from them.
Yes.
You know? So it's at the thing where you have to question why the restraint. You can't tell me. I can't be convinced that it wasn't white supremacy, that it wasn't. We don't respond to this demographic's wrongdoing and violence. We don't see that the same as we see if there had been 15,000 black people out there, black or browns. So again, woke supremacy, Tim Scott, why did you do that? Why did you choose that? Why did you wake up that morning and choose coonery? Why? I'll tell you why. And this is where other people become a proxy. Well, he becomes a proxy for other people, because if this hits him, this hits you too. If you feel like the only way you can be accepted as a black man in a party that's mostly white is to say stupid shit like that, you should not be in that party. And the fact that you are and you're willing to do that looks bad as fuck. And there are a lot of you who are just like Tim Scott. I see you having these takes. I see you saying these things that make you feel, I don't know, special, that you're willing to excuse hate speech against your community. You're willing to excuse that. And somehow that makes you feel like you have thick skin. You're not like the rest of those whiny niggers, right? That's how you feel? Nah, you like a punk. Real talk, because back in the day, under pain of death, our ancestry could not hit back at these things. But please believe, we didn't like it. Those names, all of those jokes, we ain't like that shit. Nothing was said because lynchings, castrations, burnings of churches, burnings of town. We're not doing that now. So the fact that you're still doing that kind of tells me you're not like our folks back then. They didn't have a choice. You have a choice. And you chose to do that shit. To impress who? I was flabbergasted. And of course, Trey Gowdy was not going to push back on it. Indeed, Trey Gowdy works on a platform that you know wasn't going to push back on that. Fox News. You went on Fox News and you decided you was going to say some stupid shit like that to build this false equivalency in the minds of the people because you want them to ignore the shit that happened January 6th and the repercussions that reverberate from that. Because there are questions that still need answers. Now, I already got the answers, but I'm waiting for the rest of America to catch up because he's kind of slow. He's been kind of slow. And hopefully, if the rest of this country catches up to what the fuck actually happened that day, why it happened, and why the response to it was the way it was, then maybe people will start to realize that white supremacy isn't good for anybody. It's not good for blacks.
I can assure you that will never happen.
It's not good for blacks. It's not good for Latins. It's not good for whites. Those people are the enemy. All of you that call yourself patriots and this, that, and other, well, guess what? These guys attack your country. So maybe trying to revere some of the things they say and stuff they do, maybe you need to take a little step back on that. And you black people that feel like you cool, I'm so cool that stuff they say doesn't bother me, you pussy. I'm just putting it out there. You pussy. It's not that you have things, especially some of y'all was fresh out of a bully's locker in high school. And you took insults back then because you didn't have a choice. Because you ain't want no smoke. You can't now be grown talking about, I'm just more evolved. Nah, B. Nah. You was never the other guy that would have hauled off and smacked the shit out of somebody for talking that shit to you. You was never that guy. Don't think we don't see you. We see you.
We have on glasses.
Both of us. I think his is window panes. But still, we see you. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here with that. So, Tim Scott, I don't care what stuff you ever did before that people may have looked at and said, that's pretty reasonable. The fact that you tried that false equivalency, knowing what people that have that white supremacist ideology just did to your country, means you're a piece of shit and you're a seditionist. I'm calling them out. You're a seditionist. You'd be far better just moving out of the country, like I'm going to do, than run around here supporting people that try to attack the country. Fuck out of here. And that, sir, is what grinds my gears.
I appreciate the representation, Mr. Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there has been an event in which a former member of the community has decided that they would like to apologize for their behavior and would like to be welcomed back in.
Will they? Who is this person?
One, Stacey Dash. And let me explain. Let me read to you.
Wait a minute. The Stacey Dash?
I only know of one.
The clueless Stacey Dash. Dame Dash's cousin?
That's a great way to describe her. Oh, you mean the movie? Oh, okay. Yes.
No, I meant both.
Okay. The one from the movie.
What, pray tell, has she done to make her feel as though she needed to apologize? If I may ask.
We'll get there, but here's her opening statement.
Okay.
Stacey Dash got absolutely roasted for political reversal. You are not invited back to the cookout. Stacey Dash has reversed her stance on Donald Trump and is stepping away from politics. The clueless star and former Fox News host issued an official apology for her past offensive comments on Wednesday in an interview with Daily Mail TV.
The Daily
But
Fail.
Nobody on Twitter is buying it.
The hell would you say?
Dash immediately started trending after her apology, in which she admitted, I've lived my life being angry, which is what I was on Fox News. I was the angry, conservative Black woman, and at that time in my life, it was who I was. I realized in 2016. Let me, this is a very important point for my argument.
Hmm.
I realized in 2016 that anger is unsustainable and it will destroy you.
It doesn't track with the timeline, I know, but go ahead.
I made a lot of mistakes because of that anger. There are things that I am sorry for, things that I did say that I should not have said them the way that I said them. They
Oh, stop 1 second. Excuse me, prosecution. I have to object. That was not an apology. It just wasn't. It wasn't.
sustained. They were very arrogant and prideful and angry. And that's who Stacey was. But that's not who Stacey is now.
Objection, Your Honor. Also, I object to her using herself in third person.
Sustained. She's someone who has compassion, empathy.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Order in the court.
I will now provide you guys with some of the past grievances of Miss Stacey Dash, and I will leave it up to you to decide whether it is appropriate to welcome her back with open arms.
Okay. That sounds fair.
2013, Exhibit A. Do you care that the Jay-Z's have taken the capital you have given them and funded a communist, oppressive regime? That is her statement on Jay-Z and Beyonce going to Cuba, visiting Cuba. I would like to let the record show that she basically erased Beyonce by calling the couple the Jay-Z's. That she overstated for dramatic effect the fact that they are celebrities who do things and that's their job, so they get paid for it, by referring to it as the capital you have given them. And that she's overstating a vacation by saying they are funding a communist oppressive regime. Okay, 2013 Exhibit B. Back in June 2013, after the Food Network and many other endorsers dropped celebrity chef Paula Deen when allegations of her racist antics and words surfaced, Dash elected to extend her and her daughter's support, tweeting, "God does everything for a reason, Paula Deen. Only God can judge your heart. By the way, my daughter loves your show. Only way she can get me to cook."
Objection, Your Honor. Please. If you may.
I'll allow it.
I'm so sick of you guys with the heart talk. I really am. That's something that needs to stop. I can't see what's in their heart. Well, maybe you can't because you're not a surgeon, but surgeons see in hearts all the time. That's not the area that we need to discuss. The area is the brain and your behavior and beliefs inform actions. So I don't have to look to see how many times a minute your heart beats or whether or not you got some blockage from cholesterol to know whether or not you're a piece of shit. All I got to do is listen to the words you say and the actions you do. And with that, I'll give the floor back to the prosecution. What's up, Sam?
I appreciate that. Good morning, Mr. Jones. 2014, Exhibit A. In 2014, after Kanye West likened the intrusion of the paparazzi to rape. Dash rejected the comparison in a Fox News segment, saying maybe he needs to spend some time on Rikers Island. You know, go to Rikers for a little while, and then he'll know what rape is. I don't get celebrities not understanding that the paparazzi are doing their job. Point of order. Further exhibits in my presentation will show that Stacey does not understand that rape is an issue of consent, which is the parallel that Kanye was using back before.
I hate to say this.
Hey,
a lot of the people on the right don't understand consent.
Hey, which is the parallel that Kanye was using back before his Trump days.
Yeah.
I just like to point that out. Okay, 2015.
2015.
Exhibit A. Actually, we have a video for this one.
Uh-oh.
We have a video for this one.
She spoke out in a new video about gender inequality in Hollywood, D.C., and in Fortune 500 companies. And I know that you took issue with what she said. Why?
Well, because I feel like it's an excuse. It's the same thing with race. You know, it's an excuse. Stop making excuses. You know, if there are opportunities, seize them and be prepared for them. And be the best, if that's what it takes. If you have to be extraordinary, then be extraordinary.
But I feel like we're fighting an uphill battle when you look at just the numbers. We make 78 cents for every dollar that a man makes. But the rate we're going, and we've talked about this on the show before, my daughter, who's 22, will be 65 when there is finally pay equality. There's something wrong, something clearly wrong. I don't know that it's just, you know, us not taking responsibility and not giving the opportunity.
Well, I feel like that I don't know if that's true. I really feel like if you
That's true. That's documented.
I know that the numbers are
Right,
true.
right.
But I feel like your daughter will be able to make as much money as she wants in her life, just like you are. I mean, look at you.
Point of order. Point of order. Stacey Dash revealed in her book that she put out, I believe it was her memoirs. She revealed that she was broke when Fox News hired her. In fact, she had spent her last bit of money right before the check came. Also, she was broke again.
What's up, Mike?
Good morning, Mr. Gleason. Also, she was broke again in 2019. Also, she was still broke in May of 2020. So it just seems, I'm guessing she didn't want to not be broke.
And that is kind of, all right, so I have heard the argument stated that she'd said all those things and did all those things to get a check. I gotta say that doesn't really help your character much.
Absolutely not.
You're willing to sell out your community and say these things that this is not just a case of just you saying insulting things. You help to prop up narratives that are then used to make political decisions, which affect real people. So that doesn't help saying that, oh, I was broke, I needed a check, so I just said anything for a check.
It does not help.
Doesn't help. Doesn't.
Okay. 2015 Exhibit B. We have another video.
Uh-oh.
Of anger on the campus of the University of Virginia. You may remember the college was at the center of a now discredited Rolling Stone article that described a campus culture of drinking and sexual abuse. Earlier this month, the school lifted a suspension on Greek life that had come in response to that article. But now sorority members at UVA have been ordered by their national chapters to avoid all fraternity events this weekend and stay in their homes. The mandate coming ahead of what's known as bid night, when frats welcome new members and invite sorority sisters to what can turn into, obviously, wild parties. One student telling a reporter, quote, "It takes away choice and a woman's choice over her own safety and over her own body, and I think it codifies women as sex objects, just completely take the women out of the equation for their own good." The student started an online petition to have a ban revoked in support of women's rights. In the meantime, at Dartmouth College just announced that it was going to ban hard liquor on campus starting in the spring as a way to reduce alcohol-induced student behavior. Let's talk about UVA first, because I see you shaking your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
You think it's ridiculous?
ridiculous. And I think I think it's a good thing for the good girls to,
Women, they're over 18.
women, okay, sorry,
Yeah.
women, not, to be told, stay home, be safe. The other bad girls, bad women, are the ones who like to be naughty, might play and get hurt, and then, but the other thing about this is that it then blames the alcohol instead of the person who overdrinks. So, it's like the same thing with
Point of order. She followed this statement up with an apology, not in the same show.
The bad girls gonna go out there and
She followed this up with an apology. Let me be clear, she said, after
the backlash, I'm sure.
Basically, after receiving backlash for her appearance, let me be clear, she posted on her Facebook page, I am a victim of physical and sexual abuse.
Now, you don't get to do that. This makes it worse again.
Absolutely.
This
My
makes it
point
worse again.
was that there is no excuse for a man taking advantage of women under any circumstances. I believe that these universities focusing on alcohol consumption as a means to stop evil behavior takes the focus off the real issue of the objectification of women. Now they're women.
Yeah, not
And
girls.
how
bad
that
girls.
can be prevented. I apologize to anyone who believed I was blaming the victims of these horrible acts.
Except for you were. And here's the thing, Stacy, Miss Dash, a lot of us have daughters out here that are college age. You may not think that what you said there was really bad, but the reality of the situation is every time you minimize the accountability that has to be placed upon the people that are doing these things, every time you minimize that, you help another rapist get away with that shit. Have another excuse to use to help change and frame a narrative that protects them but doesn't protect the victims. That's what you're doing. You're kind of a piece of shit.
There's more evidence. 2016, Exhibit A. Either we want to have segregation or integration. And if we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET and the BET Awards and the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're Black. If it were the other way around, we would be up in arms. It's a double standard. The person that she was talking to responded to her comment by asking her if she meant that we shouldn't observe Black History Month because there isn't a comparable celebratory month for Caucasians, to which she responded, exactly. Point of order, Stacey Dash has worked for BET. Also, Stacey Dash has presented at the NAACP Awards.
So wait a minute. So 29 days out of a year that has months that usually are 30 to 31. They observe Black History Month. That's it. So what are they observing all those other What's being observed all those other times?
I'm only here with the facts, sir.
Yes, indeed. Facts indeed.
Mind you, we're in 2016. This is the year when she said that she realized that anger is unsustainable and it will destroy you. Okay. 2016 Exhibit B. I need to read an excerpt from Jesse Williams' speech at I believe it was the BET Awards that year. He said, "We've been floating this country on credit for centuries, and we're done watching and waiting while this invention called whiteness uses and abuses us, burying Black people out of sight and out of mind, while extracting our culture, our dollars, our entertainment like oil, black gold." This is just an excerpt. The speech is longer. If you'd like to hear the rest of that, you can go ahead and search Jesse Williams.
I saw that speech.
Awards speech. Clueless star Stacey Dash blasted Chicago native Jesse Williams.
Of course she did.
As a Hollywood plantation slave after his impassioned BET Awards speech about systemic racism. And
Yeah, because that sounds exactly like what a slave would say.
Sorry, Mr. Williams, but the fact that you were standing on that stage at those awards tells people you really don't know what you're talking about. Just spewing hate and anger. Because you, my man, are just like everyone else, hustling to get money. Okay. So again, she was quoted in her so-called apology.
Yeah.
In saying, I realized 16 that anger is unsustainable and it will destroy you. I made a lot of mistakes because of that anger. My next piece of evidence, 2017, Exhibit A.
Facts, Ken. Ken says, calling the Civil War states' rights is an example of white history. Rest of the year. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
When asked whether the conservative agreed with Trump's widely criticized comments that there was blame on both sides after a reported neo-Nazi mowed down a counter-protester at the far-right rally on August 12, 2017, she said, I think he's absolutely right. I'm not here to judge. The only one who can judge is God. Do I know every person in the neo-Nazi party? If they have a good heart or not? No, I do not.
Jeez. Y'all gonna miss me with this heart shit, man. Y'all gotta miss me with this heart shit. They trade in false equivalencies and whataboutisms almost exclusively.
No point of order for that one. 2017, Exhibit B. Remember, I realized in 2016 that anger is unsustainable and it will destroy you. 2017, Exhibit B. Commenting on Maxine Waters' Black Girls Rock acceptance speech. This is how you spin a corrupt media buffoon sucking up her late in life 15 minutes. No point of order for that one. Remember, I realized in 2016 that anger is unsustainable and it will destroy you. 2017, Exhibit C. When asked if electing Barack Obama had helped the minority community, Dash answered, no, not at all. It still keeps them stuck. They are getting money for free. They feel worthless. They are uneducated. I mean, as long as you are that way, the Democrats can keep you under their control. She said this on the Hannity Report. Sean Hannity gave her a chance to clarify what appeared to be inflammatory remarks, but she only dug in more. She claimed that Democrats have a plantation mentality in thinking they can buy the minority vote in exchange for social and welfare services.
Point of order, sir. This again, right, is another talking point that they tend to use all the time to discredit Black people's choice and political parties that they represent. They
Indeed.
do this shit all the time. And what it actually is, it's a disguise. It's a disguise for them to make people believe that they actually care about the well-being of all these Black people. No, what it actually is an insult. They're saying, basically, you poor, stupid monkeys.
Indeed.
Why do you support these people? Why do you as if Black people don't have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a brain, and see who's the one out there that has Confederate loving fuckers voting for them? Continue.
That is the last piece of specific evidence that I have procured quotes for. However, there are several other instances, things such as her ongoing public spat with one Oprah Winfrey, her consistent criticism of one Barack Obama, particularly one that I found egregious, was the response that he gave after the Pulse nightclub mass shooting in Orlando, Florida. There are comments that Miss Dash has made about Black people being the ones who want to keep them in their place. She's made several other comments about letting men be men as it pertains to things that the more evidence-based of us deem rape culture. She's done a bunch of things that I simply ran out of time to add to my case. I ask you a simple question. For someone who has committed all of these atrocities, who you do not know personally in the first place, are you willing to allow this person to come back to you with open arms? My intention is not to sway you either way. My intention here today is simply to make sure that you have all of the evidence, all of the receipts. As a matter of fact, allow me to correct that. This is not all of the evidence. These are not all of the receipts. I, again, as I stated before, simply ran out of time while constructing my case. There are plenty more examples that, if given more time, I would have been able to find quotations, citations, and other things of the like. However, my simple question to you, I repeat, does it make sense to allow someone who has committed such atrocities to enter back into the community with open arms especially being that you do not know them personally. Your Honor, I yield.
Thank you, prosecution. To that, I would. That's a very good question. And after listening to all of the evidence that was presented here today, I think I would have to say no. I think it would be absolutely foolish for Black people to accept her back into the community with open arms, because the type of things that she did were so egregious. Because, as this court has often said before, and we've shown precedent for this, the world is run off of narratives. Whatever narratives you can get the people to believe, be they people in power or just the regular lay people, it will have an effect on their behavior, an effect on public policy. And the more people that help spread certain narratives, the more that narrative becomes accepted. And also, when people from a marginalized group go out of their way to spread narratives that harm that marginalized group, they actually help to legitimize those narratives, because the people that like to promote those and benefit from those will then use said marginalized person as an example and say, well, you couldn't possibly be right because this Black person agrees with me. This gay person agrees with me. This woman agrees with me. So no, when I mean excommunication from the community, that means any attempt to make a comeback in Hollywood, any attempt to be a part of something that's some form of entertainment that Black people consume, should be outright rejected the moment it is discovered her name is attached to it.
Permission to approach the bench, Your Honor.
Permission granted.
I just like to add that she's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I know. Can't really say that in open court, but
Yeah,
trust
no.
me, I'm sympathetic to that.
Okay.
I'm sympathetic to that.
All right.
So, after reviewing all the evidence that was presented, my judgment in sentencing is clear. She's dead to us.
All right, I rest my case.
Court adjourned.
All right, y'all. Listen.
Y'all got donuts. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. I mean,
It's your
you,
donuts.
you send one this way? 'Cause-
I'm going to email you a donut. Yeah.
All right, cool. Bet.
Put it in there.
Listen. The other thing I had to say about this whole situation.
Yeah. Yes.
Does Stacey go to Red Table Talk?
Well, here's the thing. I can imagine that she would reach out to Jada because she's on the whole rebrand tour, right? And she wants to get in good with Black folks again, I'm sure. So what way to do that than to go up there and take these hard questions? But here's the thing about her doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one thing I've always noticed about her when she was on these Fox shows as a pundit and all of that. She's not good. She's not articulate. She really isn't.
Yeah.
And she's the type of person that, to me anyway, it seems like she doesn't really know the issues.
Yeah.
She's playing the role. She has never really thought about any of this shit. She's playing the role. And that's why a lot of her takes sound to be what she approximates how conservatives think. It's the same thing that I think Trump was doing initially. It's like when they asked him about abortion and should the woman that gets an abortion be prosecuted. Now, had he actually been a right winger and was familiar with this position and the position that's held, the pro-life people have specifically stated they do not want the woman to be held criminally.
Right.
But because he didn't know that, because this is not a position that he held, he doesn't give a fuck about abortion. As a matter of fact, you know he's into that shit. I mean, how many? I'm telling you, it could be a whole bunch of women out here that could have had a kid by Trump, if not him paying them to get it, whatever. We don't know, but we know he's a womanizer. That's what we do know, right? So she strikes me to be like that. She strikes me to be the type of person that doesn't really know these issues at all. She's watched quite a few extremist right wingers say things, and then she parrots them. You know, I've never heard her make a coherent argument for any of those positions. Never.
Yo, let me get to some of these Twitter reactions. I'm sorry, Stacey Dash. You are not invited back to the cookout.
No.
Another one. Stacey Dash. What people don't know is that I made a lot of mistakes. Response. Yeah, girl, we noticed. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to everyone except Stacey Dash, who's only apologizing now because both she and Trump are unemployed and unemployable.
Let
me see.
Difference between her and Trump?
Yo.
Trump is going to juice people for donations.
Yes,
guaranteed.
But yo, Stacey, it says Stacey Dash when Trump was president versus Stacey Dash now. The first picture is Lakeith Stanfield in Get Out. The second picture is
I saw that.
The second picture is Lakeith Stanfield and Judas and the Black Messiah.
I saw that.
Oh man. All right. Let me see. All these are videos. I can't really express the. I woke up seeing that Stacey Dash was trending because she apologized to the black community and wants to come back. And Black Twitter was like, "Uppity bitch, say what?" Okay, I'm with it. Yeah, bro. I just let me see what's up with this one. Because I have two. There are two. I wonder if these are different.
I wonder if the same black people I saw complaining about Pepe Le Pew and them are going to be willing to accept Stacey Dash back. I mean, why not? They seem to be on board with other right-wing culture war issues like cancel culture.
Facts.
You might as well.
Let's just slide right into that. Let's just slide right into that. All right, so there has been a cancel culture corner, specifically with cartoons. Alliteration purposeful. So I love my friends. I had a conversation with them recently, and they were doing the typical nostalgia fueled knee-jerk reaction to the cancel culture and complaining and blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, it's not cancel culture. And Fab said, well, what is it? And I said, consequences. It's accountability. You're being held accountable for some shit that you said or did. And then I said, but name me 5 people who've actually been canceled.
You know, you're scarier than I am with this death robe one. When you ask people for evidence.
Yo, nobody named a person. No, Fab named Cap. But I didn't explain. You know, I went down that rabbit hole.
I don't think Cap is part of cancel culture though.
No.
Because first of all, I don't believe there is a cancel culture.
Facts.
I don't think people understand what culture actually means, right?
Right.
But the culture didn't cancel him.
No.
As a matter of fact, many members of the culture embraced him and defended him. Like he didn't drop into obscurity.
No, not even close.
Supported him, right?
Absolutely. So no, he wasn't canceled. Like no, I don't know if I've said this on the show yet, but Essentially nobody has been canceled. It's probably I can probably, if I fought for it, I could probably name 3 people.
I can name one.
I can name
I
Kevin
can't
Spacey.
remember his name.
Kevin Spacey has effectively been canceled.
He deserved that.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey.
Deserved
So
it,
again,
yeah.
we talking about people that you gotta come in. You gotta come in.
Absolutely.
Who was that goddamn producer, that movie producer out of New
Weinstein?
York? What? He once supposed to get canceled?
He's effectively been canceled. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
That's 2 people.
And
R. Kelly's been arrested. He hasn't been canceled. His fucking music took off.
Y'all still love him.
Yes.
Y'all motherfuckers still love him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The white kid that we talked about a couple weeks ago, he wasn't fucking canceled. His sales are record breaking now.
Yes.
Since the controversy. That's not no.
Nah, B. Motherfuckers ain't canceled.
No. I don't know. I don't see these people that have been canceled. I don't see them. Where are they? I just named you 2 that I can say with confidence have actually been canceled. Sure.
The reason you can't name them, and they can't either, is because it hasn't been like when you talk about culture. Culture is widespread.
Mm-hmm.
There's no little couple of isolated cases here,
right?
Isolate case there, and that makes it a culture,
right?
Nah, B. Nah, that's not what it is.
It has to be the rule, not the exception.
Exactly. And again, are we really going to argue that Weinstein didn't deserve that shit? That man brought Lupita a move. Fuck him.
Right.
Fuck him.
That was the one
brought Lupita a move. Fuck
that
you.
was part of one of the pieces of evidence for Stacey that I didn't have time to get.
Right.
She was beefing with Oprah because of that. Now, one of the reasons I didn't have time is because even pieces of shit be right about some shit, right?
Well, yeah.
So her issue was with Oprah and her relationship with Harvey Weinstein. I haven't done enough research to know how much, but I am leaning towards agreeing with her.
I am aware of Oprah's relationship with him. There are numerous pictures of them together. And here's the thing about that. Stacey is right to pose that question, but Stacey don't get no points for that because you're not doing it because you care. See, this is all gotcha politics.
Right.
Gotcha. Gotcha. There's no conviction about that issue with her. This was just a way of attacking someone she considers to be a liberal, a wealthy liberal, and someone that's in basically Hollywood. So Oprah hits, and she's a black woman. Oprah hits all these check boxes that the right loves to attack. Because they love to attack black women. They love that shit.
Right.
And what they consider to be wealthy, elitist liberals, as if the motherfuckers over on the right ain't elitist shit. The president, the motherfuckers y'all just gave a BJ for 4 years, had a goddamn gold toilet. Fuck out of here with that.
Yeah. You can be. Here's the other thing about her saying the 2016 shit. That's when Trump was fucking elected. There's no way.
Yo, there's no way.
Yo, you're a Trump supporter. You're a clear Trump supporter.
Yeah.
So how the timeline don't match up?
And
even
also,
if I didn't have the evidence from 2017, you're a fucking
timeline.
Trump supporter.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
What is going on?
You're a liar. You're a goddamn liar. And it's like, again, you can't even keep it real yourself. Suicide.
Yo, stop. Listen. So, but here's the thing. Because one of her arguments against Barack was with the Pulse nightclub shooting, was that the person that did it was a registered Democrat. So her argument was this person voted for you. Number one.
That's rich. That's rich.
Specious argument at best. Number one, you have no way to know that he voted at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number two, even if he identifies as a Republican, Democrat, he still could have voted for Mitt Romney.
Yep.
So, like, what? What are we?
And also,
because you being a conservative doesn't mean you have to be a Trump supporter.
Right. And we've seen that. Now, I'm not
Governor Hogan.
I'm not going to say it's plenty of them because that's not what the numbers show. But there are a fair amount of Republicans that do not support Trump.
Governor
Our very governor here in Maryland
is in opposition to Trump 90% of the time.
Absolutely. It's funny because to try to make that connect, because it's not impossible to do. She's just missing so many things. For instance, I give you a classic example. If you go on this guy's social media page and you saw a whole bunch of shit saying Barack Obama being the support of him, and then somehow he found a way to twist Obama's policies and opinions into a call for violent action, then you could say, hey, man, listen, this guy was a huge supporter of yours. He took the things you said and turned that into a way for him to go and do something violent. I don't believe for 1 second anybody that can honestly be taken seriously in any conversation about this could look at the many things that Donald Trump said, not just when he was president, but before when he was running for president, and act as if none of that shit was violent in tone. Thanks. Also, just to clear this up, because I'm sick of hearing this bullshit too. Y'all tried it, but it's not working. They always want to focus in on the actual speech of January 6th, knowing goddamn well the shit he was saying months before that also factors into people's opinions about things. We've seen how he will go out.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. Calico made a tweet that said, Atlanta is literally living proof that COVID is a scam. Official clapped back with the nigga, didn't you have COVID? Yo! Official out here showing her ass, my guy.
I'm gonna leave that.
Hit him real quick. Hit him real quick. Like, nigga, didn't you have COVID? Like, you clearly had COVID. Like, we remember the videos that you were posting talking about this COVID shit real, y'all. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah.
Can I say how much I hated that too? When people caught it and then it's real, y'all. Man, fuck you. Ain't no listen. Man, fuck you. Hold up. This is what I mean by the elite. People in education may be getting smarter, but the average person is getting dumber. Do you think somebody was saying that during the polio thing?
Oh, probably.
To that extent, though, polio. They were literally.
I'm not putting shit past humans, though.
That's true, but they were literally iron lung.
They're literally. Whatever,
yo, y'all motherfuckers kill me, man. Like, y'all really do. That whole I caught it, so now it's real shit is the to me, it encapsulates the entire theme for the American culture. The whole rabid individualism.
Yeah.
The community doesn't matter. The people you live around don't matter. All that matters is what you want, what you need.
Yo, as an adult,
what's going on, Napalm?
Yo, as an adult, you shouldn't have to touch the fire.
You should not have to touch the fire to know that it's hot, to know that it will burn. You know that it will fuck you up.
No, you shouldn't. As an adult, you shouldn't have to.
And you know who I blame a lot of this on too? Now, while we're on that topic, who I blame a lot of this? Politicians.
Oh,
well, no, she gets all of that too. I'm blaming her for the war 1812. Fuck her. Fuck her.
The March
Fuck
on
her.
Normandy.
Marshall, all of that. All of that. I'm blaming that shit on her. That Rwandan shit, her bad. Her bad. She getting all that shit.
Oh,
But
colonialism.
these motherfucking, she getting all that.
Global
These
warming.
motherfucking politicians, yo, that didn't do their fucking jobs, that went up there with complete opportunists and did shit. Because basically what happens is they eroded the trust in the systems that
Yeah.
run this place.
Yeah.
So it's easy as fuck for somebody that's out there mining for engagement on
Mhm.
social media to say anything they want about the government did this bad, the government did that bad, and it be believable because there's been plenty of cases of motherfuckers that have been running the government doing fuck shit.
Mhm.
Once again, something else to lay at their feet for the bullshit. That's why it's easy for people to suspend this,
Right.
suspend their rational thought, and say everything's a conspiracy. They literally not realizing, for those people that say, "Oh, I think it's a conspiracy because I'm woke like that." Not
Yeah.
realizing that is the opposite of being woke because you only have one tactic. You have
Right.
one tactic, one method, one metric for every claim that's made,
Yeah.
and it's a conspiracy. That's
Yo,
it.
yo, yo.
That's all you got.
I do have a legitimate question though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's possible in
That's
any
a wrong,
way, shape,
that's a
or
wrong
form?
word. That's a wrong word.
No, I'm
Possible,
serious.
possible's wrong, but continue. But I'm gonna tell you why in a
You-
minute. Possible.
Do you think it's possible that Atlanta has some close to herd immunity? And I'm talking about the people that actually live there.
I know. I'm going to say anything is possible, but is it probable? That's that's the real question, because a lot of people misunderstand what herd immunity actually is.
Right.
You know, a lot of herd immunity deals with vaccinations.
Right. But I mean, how quickly? So I've seen studies that say there's no immunity after catching it. I've seen studies that say there's a period of a
I've
few
seen both
months.
too.
Yeah.
Seen both too.
So just in the hypothetical that, let's say, there are going to be a certain number of cases. Of course, we don't know numbers, but there's a certain number of cases that are going to be asymptomatic.
Right.
So if you combine that with how free, I don't know if Atlanta ever closed.
Florida never closed.
Right.
They didn't change the number of their cases. They still got the same amount of cases, or close to the same amount of cases California did. Yeah. Crazy. Florida has maybe slightly more, but it's not a big gap of cases of COVID as California did. They just did a whole thing on the news about it because they did a comparison of the two different tactics the governors used.
So is it possible that these motherfuckers just lucked up in Atlanta?
Luck is part of probability, so yeah. Possible.
Yo, I'm thinking
that's all luck. That's all luck is probability.
Right.
That's all it is.
I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers really do. Like now, every time I hear of people going to Atlanta, not every time, but a good portion of the time I hear people going to Atlanta and coming back, they end up getting it.
Mm-hmm.
But it appears that the motherfuckers there just aren't getting it as much as you would imagine they should be.
One of the things might be too, so remember we had a conversation, I think on the last show, where people were actually seriously with a straight face asking the question of, well, why it seemed like the flu wasn't that bad this year.
Right.
What's up, Jonathan? And we just so you don't get how the flu gets transmitted.
Right.
We've had the flu all these years.
For
and you don't know how the flu gets transmitted.
Lived in the world without the flu.
Right. So maybe it was a case of that. Maybe people were social distance. They may not have been closing down.
No, yo. No.
They weren't wearing masks at all?
Listen. I'm not going to say they weren't wearing masks at all, but they were not social distance. That was not happening. Nigga, clubs open, like all the every scenario I've seen of people in Atlanta has then just been people everywhere.
Right.
Like people all over places.
What numbers do we know about the people that caught COVID over there?
I don't have the specifics. I know I've seen that last time I looked, it wasn't in the top 5 of per capita.
Right. But they were still spreading.
Yes, absolutely. Oh no, absolutely. They were still getting cases without. Yes, absolutely.
So that to me is the other thing that makes Calico seem so dumb. Because just because shit is open doesn't mean people wasn't catching it. I think that
Facts.
that doesn't track. Just because they made a choice not to close, it's because they made a choice not to close doesn't mean people wasn't catching. That's how Florida was. Florida said, nope, we ain't closing. Nope, fuck y'all.
Very true. That's crazy.
We don't care about old people and people that have some sort of pre-existing conditions. Fuck y'all. Die, eat shit and die.
Yeah.
No. Marissa made a good point. Hold up. California's population is denser than Georgia or Florida and really only comparable to New York and Texas. Georgia and Florida actively suppress case number reporting. There it is.
Here we go.
There it is.
Thank
Bam. In your face, goddamn.
Because I was missing that part of it. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, why? And that explains.
Here's the question. Is anybody surprised that Florida suppressed it? Is anybody surprised they suppressed that shit?
No, not
when
really.
their president suppressed, like these are red states.
Yeah, facts.
They followed Trump's example, right?
Why don't we stop all the testing?
If we stop the testing, you won't have as many cases. No, you'll have cases. You just won't know how many you have. You fucking hump.
The cases won't be official because there was no way to count them.
Yeah. Yeah. Go fucking figure. Go fucking figure. That shit. Listen.
No. That's like saying like you don't know that your account is in the negative if you don't look at it. Like,
yo, that reminds me. This one of the earliest videos I did on YouTube years ago. There was a snowstorm here in Maryland, and my son and I were out.
Yo, you was on YouTube in '96.
Shut up.
Oh, my bad. That's impressive.
Shut up.
Okay.
The snowstorm was coming down, and it was high as fuck. Like we had a truck a white truck at the time, right? A Ford. That motherfucker was buried. So we digging it out. I had my video camera there, and I basically was talking about how all the times Malik has failed when we were out there. Just a bunch of fails, doing a fail countdown. And one of the fails was he had tennis shoes on. And I showed him, I said, see, I got these boots that come all the way up to my goddamn knees.
I don't own boots.
Yeah, but you're also not out in 2 feet of snow digging out a truck.
And I was
right. He was out there. So, yo, Napalm is dumb. No, he says COVID doesn't exist. It's a scare tactic. There's no such thing as COVID. And they cough. Marissa says, in Oklahoma, you had to be severely ill before you were considered eligible for a test. Mild symptoms went mostly unreported. Yeah. But in the video, he had buried his feet in the snow before I got the camera around to it. So he was like, since you cannot see my feet.
Hey, listen.
You cannot
listen. Listen. I ain't gonna hold you. Nah, Millie was on to something, my guy.
Yeah, he was. He was on hot tea, like cough medicine.
It says I'm a millionaire as long as I don't read my bank statement.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is the same shit they pull in those states where if we don't count the cases, we don't have a lot of cases.
Right. All right,
and that's just not logically tenable.
Let's get back to this cartoon cancel corner.
Yes, please.
Cartoon cancel culture corner.
Mhm.
Allow me to continue.
Mhm.
I don't even, because these like all intersect.
Mhm.
So like, I'm just gonna do
And
this.
Chuck, listen, for those of you that maybe didn't see last week's show or listen to it on the audio podcast, a lot of this is about the Space Jam sequel or whatever that's supposed to come out. I don't know, is it a sequel or is it just a
Yeah,
reboot? Okay, so that's supposed to come out.
It's a continuation. I'm not sure if it's
A direct
considered a
sequel.
reboot or not. Yeah.
Okay. This movie is slated to come out, and they're going through the roster of characters that they're going to use. This is why a lot of these characters you hear people talking about now came back into the conversation. The algorithm picked them up, and of course, like anything else in this country, if you go back far enough, you'll find some shitty things because really you don't even got to go back that far to find a bunch of shitty things. And people that have shitty ideas, shitty perceptions about other people, and they put it in their art. That's that simple. They put it in their art. The stuff that they was creating mimicked a lot of the shitty ideals and shitty ideas they had about people. So that's why these characters are all the rage of the conversation now. And the second reason why is because the people that are emotionally invested in being outraged at outrage culture took it and ran with it.
All right, so Ted Geisel and Chuck Jones, the friends turned creative collaborators during World War II, and again many years later for such TV classics as 1966's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, are again under cultural scrutiny. After the news that 6 of Geisel's Dr. Seuss books would cease publication because of racist and insensitive imagery, Jones's Pepe Le Pew has brought Looney Tunes into the culture war over which classic children's characters are so problematic that they should probably be updated or disappeared. The Seuss announcement came last Tuesday on the anniversary of Gazelle's birthday, though the decision was made last year. That controversy prompted New York Times columnist Charles Blow to write a piece headline 6 Zeus books bore a bias. That's an amazing title for it. Anyway, the column noted that some of the first cartoon characters Blow remembers seeing while young are Pepe Le Pew, who normalized rape culture, and Speedy Gonzales, whose friends helped popularize the corrosive stereotype of the drunk and lethargic Mexicans. The Pepe reference resonated like a callback to a classic bit from Dave Chappelle's 2000 stand-up special, Killing Them Softly.
Hold up, stop for a second. I'm glad that was explained this way.
Because people had a question about Speedy?
People keep pointing at Speedy and not pointing at what Charles Blow actually wrote about. He wrote about the friends of Speedy
Not
Gonzales.
Speedy himself. That's right. I saw that misunderstanding a lot.
Damn it. So you mean to tell me this comes to a complete shock to me that the people that also didn't realize that it was the actual people that owned the IP that was doing this are the same people that didn't read the Charles Blow editorial and thought that they were talking about Speedy Gonzales and not his lazy and drunk.
Well, here's the thing. I believe the headline was Pepe Le Pew, something to the effect of Pepe Le Pew's been canceled. Why not Speedy Gonzales? And some people saw that and was like, "There's nothing wrong with Speedy Gonzales."
I accused Charles Blow of clickbait. That was clickbait. That was a clickbait title. But that's all I can give him. That's all I can give y'all. That's all I can give you. If you'd have read the article, you would have saw he was not referring to Speedy.
Right.
But that was clickbait. That's clickbait.
So Dave Chappelle's 2000 stand-up special, Killing Them Softly, in which the comedian says that Pepe, whom he laughed at as a kid, later through an adult lens make him realize, what kind of a rapist is this guy?
And notice at the time when he said that, I didn't see none of you motherfuckers who love and laud Dave Chappelle. Y'all didn't call him a snowflake. Y'all ain't say that he was part of cancel culture. I ain't say none of that shit.
Over the weekend, his name resurfaced when Deadline reported that the lecherously predatory skunk won't appear in the sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy, due out in July. After a scene involving Pepe, shot by the film's first director, Terrence Nance, was cut, director Malcolm D. Lee took over the movie nearly 2 years ago. Deadline reported that Pepe Le Pew will likely be a thing of the past across all media. And the Hollywood Reporter also noted that there are no current plans for the controversial cartoon skunk to return. On Deadspin, Julie DeCaro said Pepe Le Pew deserved to be canceled, writing that since his World War II era creation, we've learned a lot more about consent, and women have found and won more recognition of their bodily autonomy. And yet, we continued to see these same old "she's just playing hard to get" tropes in entertainment even today. Elsewhere, Rex Murphy of the National Post wrote a letter to Blow, and I was going to include that on the docket, but I read that shit. Fuck him. Saying, what's next?
It's the National Post, so
what's next? I wonder. A hit job on Marge Simpson? I wouldn't be surprised. That is not even close to the worst thing he said in that goddamn.
I believe it. I believe it.
Close.
I believe it. I believe it. And
this disingenuous take of separating
that's all they
Pepe
got.
from being a human. Like,
that's all they got, yo.
It's not a human, so it's not. Shut the fuck up.
Yo, you know how disingenuous that is to say that because he's not like the way he to say that because he is a skunk, as if he's not over there speaking English and doing all these other things that humans do. Stop it, my dude.
Anthropomorphized,
right? We don't know. So we don't know. So we don't. Yo, y'all motherfuckers are either playing stupid or are stupid for real. Fuck out of here, man.
I'm gonna read it now, but not right now. But yeah,
right.
I'm gonna read it just to let y'all people know how fucking crazy these people get. Gabriel Iglesias tweeted, "I'm the voice of Speedy Gonzalez in the new Space Jam. Does this mean they're going to cancel Fluffy too? You can't catch me, cancel culture." You know how every now and then I bring up the phrase "never meet your heroes"? You motherfuckers are dumb, and it's annoying. My thing is, after I just called you dumb, you probably won't listen, but it is what it is. My advice is when you see something you don't agree with, you are allowed to have your initial feelings, right? Absolutely, you're allowed to have your initial feelings. Just do a cursory look into the situation.
Oh, you got no. 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 Just no.
Spend a little bit of time.
No. Listen, dog. As I was disabused of that want or notion or thinking that was, it's not happening.
Never gonna happen. I know.
It's not happening. They don't give up. Yo, the only thing they worried about is the boogeyman. And they worried about the boogeyman and they fifis. That's it, yo. They don't care to know anything about the actual facts of the case because they already have an agenda in their heads and a bias in their heads towards a certain worldview. So it's like, all they need is confirmation of the worldview, even if it isn't factual. Put a battery in their back and they go.
I love Fluffy, but Fluffy, I'm confident enough to say that if he realized that the issue isn't Speedy himself, the issue is his friends, and likely his friends aren't in the fucking movie, then he would have realized that there was no need for him to make this goddamn tweet.
I would have fired him, yo. Listen to what I'm saying. Had I been the person in charge of the voice acting, the casting of voice acting, as soon as he said that, you'd have been gone, and I'd have got somebody else. Fuck out of here, because that you went in public with this misunderstanding, and then you brought attention to a character that doesn't have. Specifically, he does not have that issue.
No.
And you brought attention to it and caused this other conversation about him now. You get the fuck up out of here. We hiring somebody else. Rip his fucking contract up and get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah. The examples keep stacking up. Disney Plus recently removed such films as Peter Pan, Dumbo, and its set of titles designated for children's viewership profiles because of stereotypes and racist depictions. Some Golden Age Warner Brothers characters have changed in recent years in response to changing times. HBO Max's Looney Tunes cartoon showrunner Peter Braungart told the Times last year, "We're not doing guns," meaning Elmer Fudd would no longer carry his hunting rifle and Yosemite Sam would be stripped
of his guns, right?
Looney Tunes reportedly would still feature tools of the stock cartoon chase like Acme Dynamite. Andrew Figaro, curator at San Francisco's Cartoon Art Museum, the author of Looney Tunes Treasury, says Seuss's characters and Warner Brothers animators used then commonplace, and I hate this, then commonplace racial and cultural stereotypes, though the enduring popularity of Dr. Seuss and Looney Tunes has led to some issues that their creators born in the early 1900s never could have anticipated. Don't give them fucking excuses. There's no reason to give them excuses. It is what it is.
Yo, here's the thing that's crazy about them giving them that excuse when it's unnecessary to do. This is not the only time that something that was distasteful, is considered distasteful now, that was not considered distasteful then, was taken out and redesigned and rebranded. And my thing to people is all the time, when y'all look at them old black and white films where you see black people being sprayed with hoses,
right?
You see dogs being put on black people. You do realize that these are the same days and times when a lot of these things were created. For you to act as if a society that would do that to marginalized people would not then produce insulting things to those marginalized people, you're fucking bananas. How you separate that is crazy to me. Of course, it came from out of art. All art
imitates life.
Imitates life, and whatever was happening that's forever. That's been the case. Whatever was happening then, someone's going to place it in the art. If you didn't think that way of life, that way of looking at black people, that way of looking at all marginalized groups, if you didn't think that would have been put in the form of cartoons, commercials, shit like that, you're fucking bugging. Now, if you didn't like the shit they were doing in society to these marginalized people back then, you should certainly understand why they don't want to bring that shit in a day and time where we're trying to divest ourselves from that bullshit. Why would you want to still keep that shit? It sounds like to me a lot of y'all are hungry as fuck for the days when we went through separate entrances, for the days when we drunk out of separate water fountains, for the days when our kids didn't go to school together. And I'm including black people in this too. Some of y'all sound like you would have been just fine with the shit that was happening to us in the 50s, 40s, 30s, 60s. Why do you still want to hold on to shit from that bygone era? If tomorrow SBJ hit me up and said, "Yo, I finally done it." Done what? I bought a DeLorean. Okay, why is that special? Because I made it a time machine. How many of you motherfuckers would pay to go back in time during that time and be like the way we had to live back then? So why are you still trying to hold on to them ideas and that imagery? What the fuck is wrong? How broken are you? Shit crazy, man.
Yeah. Palm says, but SpongeBob can't get canceled for all the questionable shit that they show and talk about. No, here's the difference. None of this shit has been canceled.
None of it.
That's not what's going on here.
None of it.
This is the creators making a conscious decision not to include some of the bullshit from the past of these properties. There was no cancellation.
There was no protest.
Nothing.
There was no outcry. It was clear. It was the people who own the product.
Right.
Nobody forced them to do
all of these situations with the Dr. Seuss books, with the Speedy conversation, with Pepe Le Pew, with Lola Bunny, with all this shit. This has been the creators themselves deciding, making a conscious decision not to include this shit. Nobody was canceled.
This would be the equivalent of me taking my first album and changing the album cover and saying, this, I don't feel represents totally what the music is and what I want to represent on this album. So I'm changing the album cover. And then people coming out going, man, you just canceled your album. It's my album cover.
Right.
It's my shit.
Right.
I can't change my shit.
Right.
That shit crazy.
So let me get to this. Let me get to this Charles Blow article. As a child, I was led to believe that blackness was inferior, and I was not alone.
How'd that happen?
I think if you let him finish, he'll tell
sorry.
you.
I was trying to figure it out.
Okay. I was led to believe that blackness was inferior, and I was not alone. The black society into which I was born was riddled with these beliefs. It wasn't something that most, if any, would articulate in that way.
Still are. I would argue still are. Go ahead.
Let alone knowingly propagate. Rather, it was in the air, in the culture. We had been trained in it, bathed in it, acculturated to hate ourselves. It happened for children in the most inconspicuous of ways. It was relayed through toys and dolls, cartoons and children's shows, fairy tales and children's books. At every turn, at every moment, I was being baptized in the narrative that everything white was right, good, noble, and beautiful, and everything black was the opposite. The first book I ever bought was a children's book about Job from the Bible. Job was the whitest of white men in the book, and so was the white savior with white beard lounging on a cloud. Indeed, every image I saw of Christianity featured white people. My great uncle had a picture of a stringy-haired, blue-eyed white Jesus hanging over his bed. Some of the first cartoons I can remember included Pepe Le Pew, who normalized rape culture, Speedy Gonzalez, whose friends helped popularize the corrosive stereotype.
Who's what?
Friends.
His friends, not him.
No, not him. Helped popularize the corrosive stereotype of the drunk and lethargic Mexicans, and Mammy Two Shoes, a heavyset black maid who spoke in a heavy accent.
Who don't remember that? If you watched old Tom and Jerry and all of that shit, who don't remember?
I've seen that shit.
Yeah.
There's no reason that I should have seen that shit in my life. But anyway,
facts.
Reruns were a fixture in the pre-cable days. So I watched children's shows like Tarzan, about a half-naked white man in the middle of an African jungle who conquers and tames it and outwits the black people there, who are all portrayed,
all the black people,
who are all portrayed as primitive, if not savage. I watched the old Our Gang, Little Rascals, shorts in which the Buckwheat character summoned all the stereotypes of the pickaninny. And of course, I watched Westerns that regularly depicted Native Americans as aggressive, bloodthirsty savages against whom valiant white men were forced to fight. As James Baldwin put in a 1965 essay, in the case of the American Negro, from the moment you are born, every stick and stone, every face is white. Since you have not yet seen a mirror, you suppose you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5, 6, or 7 to discover that the flag to which you have pledged allegiance, along with everybody else, has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to see Gary Cooper killing off the Indians, and although you are rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians are you. But as the Equal Justice Initiative points out, throughout history, Native people have been subjected to more than 1,500 wars, attacks, and raids authorized by the United States government under the guise of expanding civilization. The drive to amass land and widen borders incited decades of racial genocide. In elementary school, we celebrated Columbus Day by coloring pictures of a happy, smiling white man in his 3 boats, not knowing that Columbus was a brutal enslaver and slave trader, and who wrote in 1,500 of enslaved women and girls, 100 castellanos are as easily obtained for a woman as for a farm, and it is very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 are now in demand. In fact, it is in the early years that we become conscious of race, and it is then that we can begin to assign value to it. As the American Psychological Association pointed out last year, new research indicates adults in the United States believe children should be almost 5 years old before talking with them about race, even though some infants are aware of race and preschoolers may have already developed racist beliefs. I was a teenager before I could start to understand what had been done to me, that I had been taught to hate myself, and for me to start to reverse it. The most illuminating and sad realization came when I became aware of the doll tests in which very young children were presented with a white doll and a black one and asked to describe each. Most of the children preferred the white dolls and described them positively. About 30 years ago, in my own version of the experiment, I grabbed an old yearbook from a school I attended whose student body was roughly evenly split between white and black students. I gave it to my nephew, who was 4 or 5 years old, and told him to point to the people he thought were pretty. Every face on which that little brown finger landed was white. It underscored for me that the things that we present children with, believing them innocent, can be highly corrosive and racially vicious. So this week, when the company that controls the Dr. Seuss books announced that they would no longer publish 6 of the books because of racist and insensitive imagery, saying these books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong, I cheered as some bemoaned another victim of so-called cancel culture. Racism must be exercised from culture, including or maybe especially from children's culture. Teaching a child to hate or be ashamed of themselves is a sin against their innocence and a weight against their possibilities. Here's the thing. He spent 7 words on Pepe, 7 words on Speedy's friends.
Yeah.
And here's the response to Mr. Charles.
Hold up. Before you go into that, look at what they chose to respond to.
Yeah.
This is important. Especially for black people, y'all need to understand. Look at what they chose to respond to, and not the other thing. He spent 7 words on those characters, and they chose to make that the issue, and not the other thing is about how we were taught to hate ourselves. You're being used.
Yeah,
you're being taken for a ride.
He says to Mr. Charles M. Blow. This is Ryan Murphy. Is it Rex Murphy? Mr. Charles to Mr. Charles M. Blow, the New York Times, to address from the frozen tundra of Canadian journalism, one so long encamped on the very upper slopes of journalism's Mount Olympus, might be seen as a presumptive folly. But if a cat may look at a king, then I surely may rely on the largesse of your lofty station to attend to a few observations regarding your recent and extremely tendentious. I don't even know what reading of the affair of Monsieur Pepe Le Maire of the skunk class. You gratuitously singled out Mr. LePew,
7 words.
A most endearing skunk. Witness his many fans over the years as a progenitor of rape culture, a monstrous accusation. You backed up this dark assertion on Twitter, where with merciless briskness, you stated your position, and I quote, and this is from Mr. Blow on Twitter. He says, let's see, number one, because he was defending the article, because somebody before Rex Murphy pointed out this 7 words in this long-ass article. But anyway, so he was defending the article. He said, let's see, number one, this would be Monsieur LePew, grabs, kisses a girl, stranger, repeatedly without consent and against her will.
I saw this tweet too.
2, she struggles mightily to get away from him, but he won't release her. 3, he locks the door to prevent her from escaping. And back to the article. I suppose the first thing to state is that the cartoon was not a 60 minutes expose. Neither the protagonist, Pepe Le Pew, the romantic skunk, nor his reluctant amour, the cat, were meant to be seen as human beings.
Yo, just in the phrasing, they call Pepe the romantic skunk.
Right.
He's a creep.
Yeah.
Reluctant amour? No, someone trying to get the fuck away. You go to a girl and say, how you doing? My name is such and such. Saw you over there. You look like an interesting person. Somebody I would like to get to know better. What if we exchange phone numbers? And the girl says, that's not really something I want to do right now. Had a relationship before, fresh out of it, not interested in going back. That is a reluctant person.
Yes.
Someone that's doing this, the fuck off me and running from you.
And running from you. Actively running from you.
That's not reluctant, my G.
No.
You fucking, you know what? But yeah, you know what? I guess I shouldn't be surprised that this is how y'all would see the same
I
people.
think it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse.
Jeez.
It gets worse. Here are the facts, Mr. Blow. Dear Pepe identifies as a proud skunk, not to be confused with Homo sapiens.
Irrelevant.
And it is not for you to deride his species.
That's a joke. That's the joke. All that's irrelevant.
There's another bitter flaw in your column. The implication that all skunks are sex mad.
When did he say that?
I don't know. I didn't read that. You, Mr. Blow, are conflating the skunk community with the explosively carnal mink,
This is
or
a
the
troll.
equally randy rabbit class.
This is a
Have you
troll.
no shame?
This is a troll.
Now to the other business, that of Monsieur Lepew's association, as you assert falsely in your column with the deplorable phenomenon of rape culture. I have seen the names of Harvey Weinstein, Charlie Rose, Matt Lauer, and others being called out under the banner of #MeToo. None of them is a skunk of the true animal variety.
This is a troll, man.
Nor, I should note, are they French. None of them, as far as I know, was bent on romancing a cat under the misapprehension the cat in question was a skunk. So you see, there is no Lepew factor here. They are
Here's
human.
the review factor. It's this article.
They are human males of high power and liberal mindset. To call up Pepe, a cartoon character born 76 years ago, and desecrate his legacy by associating him with the behavior of these present-day goons is despicable. A further observation, you averted in your Twitter diatribe that Pepe locks a door to prevent her from escaping. So many assertions in that phrase and no evidence whatsoever. Is this a male or a female cat? The poor puss in question was given no determinative signature of sexual identity. Why then, Mr. Blow, do you presume it's a her?
So you're specializing in missing the point. Let's say that that cat was a male cat. Does that make it better? So to be clear,
Right.
to be clear, you're cool with same gender rape,
Yeah.
or harassment. You're cool with that, but fuck out of here, nigga.
Moreover, where do you get these wild ideas and careless slanders of the skunk community? Do you have a special cable channel none of the rest of us knows about? Skunks Gone Wild? Your column, sir, is a haystack, a pyramid of straw, of prejudicial assumptions. It is replete with anti-skunkicity and a deplorable misreading of the feline class. Cats are friends of the lonely and the old, and skunks are the most marginalized of the marginalized of all woodland citizens. In short, Mr. Blow, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Let me impress upon y'all what's happening here too, because this is the subtext. This is a subtext that while he's not mentioning that, he's hitting those same checkpoints. At the same time as he's purposely misrepresenting Mr. Blow's article, he's also seeking to discredit criticisms from marginalized people that they're tired of being insulted and tired of having the disrespect that's been heaped upon them for all these years. This is why he's using certain things in there like anti-skunkicity and what's the other little bullshit he put in here about conflating the skunk community.
Yeah.
This is someone who is hostile to Black people righting wrongs, to Latin people righting wrongs, to women righting wrongs, to homosexuals righting wrongs. He is hostile to this. And he is probably your classic person that you would think that holds these opinions. Someone that wants to keep society the way it was when one demographic could say whatever the fuck they wanted to say about everybody else, and whatever their opinion was about your marginalized group, that was the truth about your marginalized group.
Right.
So I'm asking Black people, especially specifically because I am a Black male. You identify with that? That what you want? Be very careful what y'all decide to go crazy over or what positions y'all decide to adopt that aren't your own, because there is a game afoot. It's narrative jockeying. And those that want to keep society the way it was, during the time when your moms and your grandparents have came and told you how fucking shitty it was, there are people that enjoyed that and think that should be what it is. There are people that actually think that a man should have the right to spank his wife in a way that's not flattering.
I was about to say, hold up, you gotta.
I got you.
You gotta allow for preference, my guy.
There are people that still believe that you should be. I'm gonna give a classic example. I used to build guns for a gun company. The owner of the company, Jack Freeze, this guy one time said to me in the conversation, "Yeah, it's just so funny." Mind you, this is long before this whole quote unquote council culture that they claim exists, because we know it did exist, but they canceled the whole entire black community. Right. We know that's what it was, in the gay community. We know that's what it was, right? But all right, this is before all of this.
Eddie.
What's up, Eddie? All of this ballyhoo about this shit, right? He said to me with a straight fucking face, says there's certain things I don't understand, man. Like Amos and Andy. Everybody liked Amos and Andy, even black people. We all would watch Amos and Andy. I went silent there for a second because I wanted that to hit a certain way. In his mind, there was no problem portraying black people looking crazy, or any other marginalized group that wasn't white looking crazy. For him, what do you mean? Everybody liked that because you didn't see black people, because they weren't in a position to beef about that. So he took it to mean we was good with it.
Right.
We was cool with it. And now people are so sensitive because they're saying, yo, you're not just betraying us like that. We done with that. Fuck that. Fuck you and them insults, nigga. We on you. We on your top and we in your mouth. So I'm just looking at my folks and I'm saying, and other marginalized groups, understand what you're supporting when you rally like this for shit like this, because the motherfuckers that's on your side write shit like this.
Facts. Yo, I just thought about something. Speaking of the word sensitive, right? Just occurred to me. Don't understand that. I mean, that's how epiphanies work,
Right.
Bruh. Sensitivity, when described in reference
Ralph
to,
Tresvant was a pretty cool song.
No.
Oh.
Sensitivity when described when used to describe a tool is the ability for the tool to measure something accurately. The more sensitive the tool,
the more
precise and accurate
the
reading.
Interesting.
Do with that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. Before we move on from Pepe, there's a couple things. One, when I was having this conversation amongst my friends, and I was talking about the Pepe part, and they was like, rape? I said, yes, rape. Absolutely rape. Lack of consent. That thing. That part.
Right.
And I'm like, none of you are fans of Pepe Le Pew. I don't personally know a Pepe Le Pew fan.
I don't either. But I know, I take that back. There was a bunch of undercover ones apparently. Because this week he became their number one cartoon character from back then. This week,
so now
apparently
the alt-right have another Pepe for their.
Oh yeah, now, damn
bars, my guy.
Damn.
Another thing about Pepe before we move on, I was so flabbergasted because I read Rex's article and then went to go find Mr. Blow's article.
Right.
And the article that everybody kept pointing me to had the title from the Dr. Seuss thing. And I was like, no, that's not it. And then I went back and I was like, oh, that might be it. And I clicked on it again and I skimmed through it and I wasn't seeing Pepe's name brought up.
Right. Right.
And I'm like, this can't be the same article. And sure enough,
The straw
Sure enough.
manning, the straw
Bruh.
manning is it's incredible. And it's like, I listen, I've seen gaslighting.
Mhm.
I have.
This is special.
This is special. This is God tier.
Bruh. S tier.
Like I said, man, I'm worried in some respects that a lot of us are being, what's up, Biddy? A lot of us, she says, I remember that show, and to us females, it's what men do. See?
See?
See? The thing is, I'm worried that too many of us don't have an understanding of the powers at work here, the shit that's happening here. And it's going to have you ally yourself with people you should not be allied with, people that do not have your best interests at heart. And if you legitimize them in public, if you give them clicks, reads, and shares, and you share their quotes and shit like that, because you ain't read the whole thing, or you ain't somehow you're not as politically astute as you should be about the shit that's happening, you're going to give power to the people who don't give a fuck about you and actively seek to undermine everything you're trying to do to improve your community and improve your standing in a society. Be careful who you ally yourself with.
Facts.
You want stop cosplaying.
Huh.
Stop cosplaying. You are not on that tier in this society where you can take these positions, these lofty positions of, I don't have to worry about what marginalized people think about what we call, nigga, that ain't you. They
Yo.
literally had to make laws in the fucking 60s to get them to treat you like a regular citizen.
They appreciate
Stop.
your help.
Right.
Appreciate your help.
Appreciate your help. Yo, stop. Don't give these people power and
You
make
don't
them
belong
feel like
here.
they right.
Facts.
Don't
Facts.
do that.
All right, so moving on. The latest culture war is over the sexy Space Jam rabbit Lola Bunny and her new toned down design.
Now, didn't we just get finished talking about a guy who made it specifically about the fact that Pepe is not a human?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just want to put that, I was going to bring that up.
Entertainment Weekly revealed an updated design for Space Jam character Lola Bunny on Thursday. The redesign for the film's upcoming sequel depicts Lola in a less sexualized manner. The redesign prompted a strong response online, with some calling it an example of cancel culture. Visit Insider's homepage for more stories. Blah, blah, blah. The latest online culture war is about Lola Bunny, the character from the 1996 film Space Jam, starring Michael Jordan. And yes, the conversation is about her being less sexualized in the upcoming sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy. The point guard for the Toon Squad, the team comprised of Looney Tunes characters and also Michael Jordan in the first film, now wears a full-length uniform instead of a crop top she sports in the first film. Her design, as revealed in Entertainment Weekly's Thursday cover story about the sequel, is noticeably much less sexualized than in Space Jam. The redesign has prompted strong reactions online, leading to some calling it an example of cancel culture and drawing criticism from conservative media personalities.
Wow.
I can almost hear the one on the right scolding me to wear a mask as she drives by in her Subaru, right-wing radio host Jesse Kelly wrote in a tweet on Thursday, referencing Lola Bunny's redesign. The debate also touches on what it means to be a strong female character and how it intersects with aesthetics. Hilariously, the conversation is all swirling around a sexy cartoon rent.
Yeah.
There is little ambiguity in Space Jam that Lola Bunny is supposed to be sexy. She enters the Toon Squad's practice gym for the first time doing the silhouette challenge. I mean, real shit
That's
though.
That's what it was.
A saxophone wails in the background as Bugs Bunny noticeably fawns over her. Lola's eyes ignite in a burst of fire after Bugs calls her doll, and she proceeds to land a slam dunk over his head, sauntering away from the hoop as she adjusts the strap on her tank top. Even Tweety Bird remarks, "Oh, she's hot," and makes a sizzling noise. Later in the film, she's introduced as the heartthrob of the hoops. As she saunters out by the end of the film, and her and Bugs are smooching on the court. From early images of A New Legacy, it seems that things are quite different for Lola this time around. Now she's wearing full-length shorts. a jersey that covers her midriff. Her curves aren't nearly as accentuated. Now, before I continue, to be clear, I don't know if the person who wrote this paid attention or not, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that when they say accentuated, they mean simply because the shirt is quote unquote not as tight, right?
Yeah, that's all it means.
So let me continue. Entertainment Weekly reported that while Lola is still going to be the strongest player on the Toon Squad in the upcoming film, with the exception of LeBron James, of course, she's reluctant to return to her old team in Bugs Bunny after branching out on her own. Director Malcolm D. Lee told Entertainment Weekly that he wanted to make Lola a more fully realized character in the sequel, working to center her athletic skills and leadership. Lola was very sexualized, like Betty Boop mixed with Jessica Rabbit, he told Entertainment Weekly. Lola was not politically correct. This is a kid's movie. Why is she in a crop top? It just felt unnecessary. But at the same time, there's a long history of that in cartoons. Sexualized animal designs in cartoons, even when they're not humanoid, is relatively par for the course, even in a post-Space Jam world. Just look at Stitch from Lilo and Stitch and his male-female counterpart, Angel, and his mate, female counterpart, Angel, who is pink and has vague curves clearly meant to indicate breasts. Or Deers from the animated film Open Season, they have the like heart-shaped outline on the back of the females and not on the males. Same with certain, I don't know where this is from, but there's two birds. The male design looks like a normal bird. The female design has breasts.
Right.
Lola Bunny trended on Thursday with the Twitter given description. People share their feelings about Lola Bunny following newly released images from Space Jam: A New Legacy, which is a very diplomatic way of saying people were yelling about how they couldn't be horny for a cartoon rabbit.
This shit is embarrassing. This shit's embarrassing, yo. Y'all should be embarrassed.
And let me show y'all something, because this is how narratives are formed.
Yeah, yo, yes. Expose this.
Let me show you something.
Expose this.
If I share this Chrome, look at this picture. And ladies and gentlemen, listening on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that other good stuff, we appreciate you, but you're missing some stuff.
Yeah.
You're missing some stuff.
Yeah.
You got to watch this on YouTube or a Facebook page. But here is a picture, and here is, I'm trying to find
the original.
The original caption. Oh, I read it already. She said, the person said, yeah, I can almost hear the one on the right scolding me to wear a mask as she drives by in her Subaru. Here's the thing. The one on the left is not Lola Bunny from Space Jam.
Nope.
The one on the left is Lola Bunny from a fan recreation that has shown up on several porn sites.
So wait a minute. I need y'all to understand what we're doing right here. We're exposing how really fast a narrative can spiral out of control and lead y'all to believe shit that's not true. So I know a lot of you that may have saw this meme. You went for the okie doke. You went, see, look what they did. That's not what that is.
No.
And what we're trying to get you guys to understand is that there are people out here that are invested in deceiving you for their own political gain.
Yep. Let me show you what Lola actually looked like in Space Jam. Oh, God. So this is what she actually looked like. Now, yes, she is still in the midriff.
Right.
Her shorts are still shorter than everybody else's.
Right.
But as far as the way that she's drawn, she's not
she's more like that other one.
Right.
Than
her shape is similar to the new design.
Right. She's not like the porn bunny that y'all lusting over. No, I'm just calling the way it is, man. Like,
we see you.
We see you, man. Y'all some nasty we see you. We see you.
Yo. When I saw that comparison picture, I'm like, that's not right.
This is how nostalgia works on people's mind too. Like they basically watched that movie back then, and somebody posts that meme with the wrong version of it, the original Babs on there and the Lola on there, and people take it and run with it. Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
No, not yup.
No, not at all.
You're wrong.
Not really close.
Not even close. You're wrong again. And my question to you is, do you like being wrong?
I mean, maybe.
Is that a thing? Is that some way of being? Is that the new edgy? Wrong is the new edgy? Like, you're wrong. Stop it, man. Again, what we have learned is that people are lying to you to get you all hopped up on some shit that's not true because it fits their agenda. They don't want things to change.
Let me read the actual explanation.
Go ahead.
Users were sharing this particular tweet, the one that I showed at first, outraged that Lola Bunny had been ruined by social justice warriors. Right-wing radio host Jesse Kelly shared the tweet, writing, "I can almost hear the one on the right scolding me to wear a mask as she drives by in a Subaru." And former deputy editor of the Daily Caller, Scott Grill, shared it, tweeting, "First they came from Mr. Potato Head and I said nothing. Ellipsis. Well, that's cool, except the image on the left isn't from the original Space Jam. It's erotic fan art. According to a reverse image search, it has been posted to sites like hentaiimg.com and upskirtporn.de. Congratulations, you're all posting hentai.
Yeah. Listen, all of this fits into a certain culture war agenda for people that don't want shit to change. They want, in fact, for women to still be objectified. They want, in fact, for your Black, Latin, Asian ass to still feel as though you are a sidekick. Mm-hmm. You are a sidekick. You are there. You are comic relief. You are there to make them laugh. Ha ha ha. It is to laugh. You are there to fit into their predetermined viewpoint and perspective about what you are as a people and what your culture is as a thing. And every time you motherfuckers don't do your due diligence and you latch on to these narratives, you help them. Now, to be clear, if you're helping them because you agree with their aims, you're a coon.
Facts. Yo, facts, Eddie. This has never been more applicable. Congratulations. you played yourself.
Don't jump out the window. First look around and see if there's a sign for the stairs.
There were 2 sets of stairs right there, my guy.
2.
On either side of the window.
Yeah. But you didn't look, did you? You jumped out that window. And don't do that, man. I'm telling you, you are aiding people who want nothing less than your total destruction as far as you being treated as a regular person in a society, an equal. They don't like that shit. They don't want it. And also, don't get caught up with the chest beating, the whole macho, I got a thick skin, I'm a alpha man. Don't get caught up with that. These motherfuckers are sensitive and punks. Most of them are punks. Back when I was part of the subculture that turned my neighborhood into a fucking nightmare, I'd have ran their pockets. Right. They came through that block. Listen, they not tough. So don't buy into that because you think, yeah, this is some. They don't know what that means. They wasn't never that. They was never that. They're using that shit for engagement. They're using that shit to claim narratives and frame society the way they want it to be. And it's not for your best interest. Fall back. The general at the head of that Russian army that you in, he don't fuck with you like that. He don't fuck with you like that.
He's not a fan.
He's not a fan. He's leading you to the slaughter. Stop following behind these commentators.
Who turns down help?
Right? Why would you?
Who turns that? Why? No.
Why would you?
Like, you're good as long as you're helping me.
Yo, don't I'm trying. Listen,
Strange bedfellows.
keep playing. You got me for another 8 years. After that, keep playing.
I hate
Keep
you.
playing.
I absolutely
Keep playing.
hate you. All right, so moving on. Versus. We've talked about versus a couple times on the show. And if you have been around for those, you know that I went from huge fan to
Man.
wildly disinterested.
Right, man.
So yeah, for my purpose, my personal purposes, it no longer represents what I thought it initially represented.
Right.
And I'm just not interested. If I want
Right.
to joy listen to people's music, I'll go joy listen to people's music on my own time. I don't
Right.
need to be scheduled. Nah, I'm good on that. But there were two articles. And the first article, I saw it, I grabbed it for the docket. I was like, okay. Then I saw the second article, and I was like, oh. We'll get into it. First article, Major, Timbaland and Swiss Beats sell verses to Triller. In a landmark move, Timbaland and Swiss Beats have sold their verses platform to the Triller Network, the parent company of the Triller social media app. Full story
Never
below.
heard of it.
Me neither. For weeks, industry insiders have been murmuring about how the battle platform, it is not, which emerged during lockdown and proved a surprise success, was set to exit its partnership with Apple Music, a partnership that saw the streamer jointly broadcast versus spars alongside the core Instagram Live. And while speculation seemed centered around other streaming services, it's now clear that the move being engineered was bigger than making a lateral shift to another streamer.
Interesting.
Billboard broke the news, confirming that Triller has formally acquired Versus. Per the terms of the pact, the Grammy-winning producers turned moguls have boarded the newly formed Triller Versus management team to help oversee music and other company strategies. In a move that echoes Jay-Z's initial activity with Tidal, the Also Deal.
That doesn't. Yeah, that kind of sounds a little weird. That sounds a little weird.
The deal also.
Oh, okay.
There we go. The deal also sees
Kinda
Timbaland and
dyslexic
Swiss.
over
Right. Timbaland and Swiss become large shareholders in Triller Network, and notably, a part of their equity ownership stake to the 43 performers who've appeared on Versus to date. As such, the acts coming aboard as shareholders and partners include John Legend, DMX, Alicia Keys, 2 Chainz, Rick Ross, Too Short, Patti LaBelle, Gucci Mane, Jeezy, E40, Bounty Killer, D'Angelo, Ludacris, RZA, The Dream, Babyface, Nelly, Jagged Edge, Fred Hammond, Jadakiss, Fabulous, Brandy, Monica, Gladys Knight, Boy Wonder, Hit Boy, Neo, Jonta Austin, Scott Storch, T-Pain, Lil Jon, DJ Premier, Manny Fresh, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer. They said Bounty Killer already. 112, Kirk Franklin, Sean Garrett, and D'Angelo.
Because
Timbaland.
Triller.
Okay. All right. Timbaland and Swiss Beats said in a statement, this is a momentous occasion, not only for Versus and Triller, but the music business as a whole. By putting Versus in the Triller Network ecosystem and expanding the Versus brand to be side by side with the powerful Triller app, we will.
It's powerful because it's powerful.
We will be able to continue to grow and evolve the music business as a whole, as we have been doing. To have partners in Triller who share our vision, specifically to celebrate and elevate the amazing artists who continue to shape culture around the world and give the consumer more direct access, is game-changing. We couldn't be happier to be elevating Versus and Triller and recognize in a very real way all of the artists who have helped make Versus the global phenomenon it is today. Our dream, the artist dream, today is realized, which is no small feat. Triller Versus is a company that's by the artists, for the artists, and with the people. Bobby Cernevesh. Never saying that again.
I'm gonna let that say. I'm just gonna say that was right and keep it moving.
Yeah, I'm never saying that again. Executive chairman and co-owner of Triller added, "There is no more disruptive and innovative brand in music today than Versus. Both Triller and Versus share the artist's first music first vision. We
You
view
there?
this acquisition as more of a partnership than an acquisition, as Swiss and Timbaland and the other 43 artists who are all becoming shareholders and partners in Triller Versus from this day forward become our voice."
What does it mean when they say artist first?
Well, that's yet to be seen. Ryan Kavanaugh, Triller Network co-controlling shareholder, Ryan Kavanaugh. Why are you?
Why do they have his name twice?
Yeah.
Yo, their editing sucks, yo.
Yeah, jointly added, "In our generation, Versus has made a bigger impact on music than any other company we know. With this acquisition, Triller continues its evolution to be at the center of culture and the center of music. Who better to help shape Triller's music future than the top artists in the world overseen by Timbaland and Swiss?" The report notes that future plans for Versus include sports activations as well as a jump into live events and comedy. This is a mega development and one which, amidst all the excitement, does present some interesting questions. Partnerships such as the recent pairing with Apple Music made it fairly easy to see how Versus could broadcast from its original core Instagram live base and reach new audiences via streamers. Now, with a social media app acquiring Versus, one has to wonder whether the deal changes anything as it relates to the primary destination of where viewers can tune in. Will it still broadcast on Instagram, as has been custom? Update: Versus. In any case, this is a game changer, especially the artist shareholder aspect. What do you think of the move? As ever, let us know. All right. Well,
what do you think of them?
I didn't get a chance to form my opinion before this article came out.
Oh, damn.
Swiss Beats and Timbaland respond to sellout criticism about their Versus deal with Triller.
You know what's crazy about that being the next one? One of my pieces of commentary was going to be how I feel like, yo, you built it up, get you trying to just get a bag and get out. All right, I hear that, but there's also an argument to be made for ownership. But I didn't know how to feel about that. I'm on the.
Let me see what the other argument is.
Okay.
Power star Michael Rainey Jr. took to Instagram to call out the Versus creators for being sellouts. Swiss Beats and Timbaland are responding to criticism after news surfaced that Versus, the popular Instagram matchup series, was acquired by the Triller Network. After the news of the deal hit social media on Tuesday, Power star Michael Rainey Jr. took to Instagram to call out the Versus creators for being sellouts. On his Instagram story, he wrote, "Can't ever just have something of our own. It's always about the money." In the follow-up post, he wrote, "Cool move, but these niggas still sellouts." Swiss and Timbaland issued a response to Rainey's comments on Hollywood Unblock's Instagram page. "But we own Triller," the Rough Riders producer followed by a laughing emoji. "We own everything. Tell who done that."
Oh, damn.
By Timbaland. Yeah.
Wow.
Earlier Tuesday, the mega producers took to Instagram to celebrate the news. By the artist, for the artist, with the people, versus Triller, versus Triller. The men both wrote on their own pages, "Life begins after your comfort zone. Let's go. Thanks for all of your support." As Revolt previously reported, Swiss and Timbaland will serve as brand visionaries on Triller's Versus management team. Additionally, they are now larger shareholders of the program and have designated a portion of their equity to the 43 artists who have performed on the Versus stage. I don't think there's another company in the world that would let us bring in 43 artists, friends, to participate in ownership of a company that's valued at over $1 billion+.
I agree with
They
that.
came very strong and also with many creatives that are owners in the company already. That was a sign of us being a perfect fit and very disruptive. I would give a tiny bit of pushback only based on my lack of knowledge. And that is, if there was already the two men, the one whose name we shall never say again, and the man whose name I had to read twice.
Right.
If they were already co-owners, and in this statement, he says they came very strong and also with many creatives that are owners in the company already.
What's up, Joe?
And you guys now have ownership, and you brought 43 people with you that now have ownership. Do you really own it?
Oh.
How diluted is that ownership stake?
I'm sure it's percentiles too. Like they might have the controlling share or whatever. That might be what's going on.
Of the company?
I mean, that's
It's
what
not.
it's a.
And I know they said they owned it. Of course, they said they owned it. That's why I said it's the only thing I'll push back on, just because of my lack of knowledge.
Right.
What do you, I feel like that's one of
what
those
do you
things
own?
where, yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where you're being criticized, so you hit back with a flex.
Yeah, it
Like,
could be.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Could be.
Because you just named me at least 47 people who own this thing.
Right. Now, as far as ownership, I think this would depend on what is the business model.
Right. Like, and of course, I know it's not equal shares. I know that.
Yeah. Now, that's the other question I have. Is this a publicly traded company?
Let me see.
Joe says there may be many minority shareholders who have less than 12%.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm fairly certain. As of October 2020, Triller has raised $100 million at a $1.25 billion valuation.
Oh,
they have. Hold on. This might give me some answers. All right, here's some notable events.
1%. Excuse me, Joe corrected 1%. Ogma also says it's not like an original content creating platform. Two artists play the music they already got in a glorified iPod shuffle face off. I love the events, but it was always about getting a bag for them. It sounds like they sold off a portion so they could step back and not full-time promote it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Here's some notable events for Triller. On June 29th, 2020, the Indian government banned TikTok due to data and privacy concerns. Triller, which had planned to tap into the Indian market by the end of 2020, saw a spike from less than 1 million users to over 30 million users in the country overnight. Following TikTok ban in India, Triller jumped to the #1 spot on the photo and video section of the Indian App Store. In August 2020, Donald Trump signed an executive order which threatened to ban TikTok from operating within the United States, citing threats to national security unless it was sold by its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. The Trump administration has stated that TikTok has until November 12, 2020 to assure the administration that the app does not pose any national security threats to the United States. Following this order, the news of possible purchases of TikTok's American operations by companies such as Oracle, Triller jumped from number 198 to #1 in the United States App Store. Meanwhile, TikTok dropped to #3. The discussion surrounding TikTok's potential ban in the U.S. has called popular TikTok stars, including Charlie D'Amelio and her family, to join Triller. Donald Trump. Soon after Donald Trump threatened to ban TikTok in the United States, Donald Trump joined Triller himself and posted his first video on August 15, 2020. The video got over 1 million views within hours.
Such a clown.
In July 2020, Triller sued ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, for copying their patented video editing technology. The company is seeking damages and requesting an injunction against TikTok's parent company in order to prevent further patent violations. The official complaint was filed in the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas. As of October 2020, Triller has raised $100 million at a $1.25 billion valuation. They have received notable investments from Proxima Media, majority investor, Pegasus Tech Ventures. The platform has also drawn angel investments from famous artists such as Marshmello, The Weeknd, Snoop Dogg, and Lil Wayne. The company is currently in talks to raise an additional $250 million through private fundraising. According to reports, Triller is also considering a potential merger and IPO with Farvahar Partners LLC, an investment bank. In April 2020, Triller partnered with musicians Migos, Marshmello, and others to perform in a digital music festival. In August 2020, Triller partnered with B2B music company 7 Digital, which will provide Triller with access to its catalog of 80 million tracks and automatically report music usage data to Sony Music, Warner Music Group, Universal Music Group, and Merlin Network. On October 2nd, 2020, Triller signed licensing deals with the rights societies PRS for Music, GEMA, STIM, and IMRO, and the publishers Concord, Downtown, and Peer Music. On February 5th, 2021, Universal Music Group removed its catalog from Triller, citing unpaid music royalties.
Uh-oh.
It's a lot going on here. So
Yeah.
this is just my thoughts, just from the little that I know about angel investors and all that other good stuff. It sounds like they flex it. Of
Let me
course,
ask
they
you this.
have.
If you owned a percentage, even if it
Mhm.
was a small percentage of less than 1%,
Mhm.
can you technically say you own?
Yes, that's why I didn't say they can't then.
Right.
But they are flexing. I own Under Armour. I'm an Under Armour owner.
You are.
Yeah,
You are.
I have stock in Under Armour.
Yeah, you are.
I own Under Armour. Like, come on. Now, obviously, their percentage of this thing is higher than my percentage of Under Armour.
Yeah, just a bit.
But I don't know how much, because we're talking about these big companies that invested money.
Right.
Also,
but we also
these
don't.
other,
That's true. That's true. The other
also
companies
these other
invested money.
celebrities and things that have invested
But I'm
money.
wondering, is the investment, all investment is not ownership?
Angel investments are.
Oh, well, then that's different. but what I'm saying is, I don't let's say they were flexing.
Mhm.
I don't blame them.
No.
Flat out called them sellouts on a public platform.
I mean, listen.
Like,
listen. After reading more about the company,
Mhm.
I'm not calling them sellouts,
Mhm.
but I lean more towards his side than I was before I've read the things about the company.
But my thing is, we don't know the makeup of the ownership period. Like how many
Absolutely
percentage it
not.
is. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So they could entirely be telling the absolute fucking truth, and then somebody came out and said, "Y'all sellouts." I'm gonna hit back too. But what? Sellout?
Facts.
What?
Facts.
You don't get to come out here on no public platform and call me names.
Right.
Fuck out of
But
here.
here's my thing. It's a double-edged sword to me, because it's like a catch-22 type thing. Like if you bring in 43 owners with you wasn't enough to dilute your ownership to agree with my case, then all right, fine, cool, you might be owners. But if that's the case, then it makes you bringing those 43 people with you less impressive.
Yeah,
because you didn't really give them anything, if that's
absolutely.
the case.
Joe says there's definitely some dilution with the new investors. If they invested early, they may have paid less per share than later investors.
Facts.
Even if they are overselling how much percentage they have, I don't see how that would make them sellouts in any case.
No, overselling their percentage doesn't make them sellouts. They were sellout before they said they were owners.
Mm-hmm.
That causation chain is, you're taking
Wait
it in
a
the
minute,
wrong direction.
why was he saying again? Maybe
I don't know.
Why was he saying they were sellouts?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the evidence as to why he was saying they're sellouts.
Yeah,
but it wasn't because of whatever their ownership stake is. It had nothing. That only came about afterwards.
It sounds like he didn't know what their own.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me. So right. None of us do. So also because of that, it's really weird for Yo to just be throwing that S word out there when you don't know shit.
I don't know. But
if I was them, I'd have hit back too.
the reason I slide a little bit towards him isn't because of his argument.
But yeah, right.
It's because of their response. Because if they are doing this to flex, it's hit dog holler type thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only. Yeah, that's the only.
I just think them niggas. I think they do it out of pocket.
Believe that they are sellouts because I don't really know the nature of.
And that's my issue with him. Like it's one thing which is the reason why I kind of discredit it because I just spent the last hour or so talking about people like, yo, check your shit before you. So you went out there and it's one thing to question it publicly, like that's fair, but to call motherfuckers sellouts, that like, yo, that's those fighting words. Like, what the fuck? I'm a sellout now? Really? Is that what it is? Like, you know, I would clap back like Jose. I tend to clap back on that. I've been called a sellout for being an engineer. I guess we're supposed to push brooms or something. Like, I'm very very careful with who I put that label on because that's a serious charge. That and yo came out on social media, all out of space, strong, and said sellouts. And he didn't say, I think y'all sellouts either. No. He was like, cool move, but y'all still sell out. Y'all still sell out. Like, like, I don't know. I think I would have clapped back too. And you know what? And if I had to exaggerate just how much, if I could technically say I owned it, yeah, I'm throwing it in your face. You ain't, one thing for certain, the power dude ain't make one dime off of that versus shit.
Yes.
So you sitting there, you don't know the particulars of the deals. You ain't seen no contracts be signed. You don't know none of that shit. But you came on social media in public and threw my name, my brand with my community and said, nah, B, it's on. It's on. That wouldn't even have been the last post. That wouldn't have, no, it's on. You don't get this.
Wait, hold up. Now that you say that kind of leads me to believe, like, that kind of moves me back towards their side. The fact that they only said the one sentence
and didn't go into
overboard.
Yeah, like I would have done. Because I'm
right.
extra.
You extra as fuck.
I'm extra as fuck, boy.
The general person, when they are right, they don't feel the need to continue to belabor a point.
Yeah, and
that pushes me back towards their side.
They know their situation. The thing is, they know their situation better than this motherfucker. I'm not giving him no credibility. He ain't seen shit. You don't know. You like us. You on the outside reading these stories, looking in. We don't know whose side what. Sell out though. Like, again, if he publicly would have questioned that in another way, I'd be right there with him. Like, what about ownership though? Like, are we going, like, we talk about black ownership? Is like, it sounds like that's not what this is. That would have been different.
Right.
He said,
straight up,
he said, you a bitch ass nigga and your mama dress you funny. That's basically what he said, Joe. Like, nah, you don't get to do that publicly and not holla at me.
On the worldwide internet.
Holla at me. Y'all have to run through circles. One thing about the entertainment industry, it's a lot more close-knit than people think. Come holla at me. Don't go on social media and try to fuck with my brand and calling me I'm all kinds of sellouts and Uncle Tom coon ass. But no, ham bone plant. No. Soft shoeing ass nigga. No, you don't get to do that.
Oh my God.
You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that.
Listen. Like I said before, I don't know. I mean,
look, I get what you're saying. The response, like, kind of it has a tone to it.
Yeah.
My only issue is, though, I am not going to penalize the guys clapping back for a motherfucker who don't know my situation coming out here calling me a sellout. No,
the clapback isn't the issue.
And he said, yes, ass. Yo, that's what
you have to respond.
You got to.
An accusation such as that.
You got to, like, and also
it would look crazy if you said nothing.
And dude made a choice to verbalize that. Nobody put a gun in his head. You better go on Instagram.
First on the headline, I assumed that there was multiple people.
Oh yeah, probably.
And then I read the article and I'm like, no, just this one.
See, look, nah, yo, listen. and I get it. Look, I'll be the first one to admit it's how I was raised. The clapback was how I was raised. You don't get to call me nothing, and you don't know what's going on. You don't get to call sell out. You can't. I can't. I don't know about Swiss. Wait a minute. Didn't Swiss go get some citizenship somewhere in Africa? Wasn't he one of the ones, or at the very least he went to the whole Ghana thing one year? Because I could have sworn I read something about that. If he identifies as a Pan-African, that's sellout charges. You don't get to do that. you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Sell out? Who I'm selling out? Yeah, you're right. I sold out of every stadium I performed in, nigga. What you talking about? I'm flexing. I'm Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger flexing on.
You stupid.
I own this.
Wow.
I'm doing it. He shouldn't have said nothing. He shouldn't have said nothing. Like,
yeah, I'm not.
Hit me up.
I'm not that. See, that I would have. That's probably the route I would have gone.
Yeah, hit me up. You got confusions about it? Maybe I can get you. Maybe I can get you.
No, I'm not. No, listen. No, listen. Let me be clear about this. My aversion to flexing through exaggeration does not supersede my need to be petty. Let me disabuse you of that notion. The words, maybe I can get you. No, none of that shit is going to be my response.
He could. All I'm saying is, your response to him would have been a lot more amiable.
Yes,
and he hit you up behind the scenes like, "Yo, what's the?" But you went out there for clicks and like. How many people saw that and hit like, and hit hit retweet or whatever? Nah, man, you can't. I think that this is another example of people getting too comfortable online saying shit that you're not gonna say to me when I'm standing there in front of you online. You really gonna just come out there and call a person I don't know if you know him or not, but somebody you don't know. You a sellout, yo.
Right, no way of knowing how many likes it got because it was an Instagram story.
Oh damn. So yeah, it's no way to know.
Looks on that. Unless
no way to know. But I still like, no, my G, you don't get to do that. Come out all strong in the face too, saying some shit. Sell out, bitch ass, yes, mass ass nigga. You from the Motisa tribe. Motisa? Nah, yo. Nah. You ain't no.
You are dumb.
You don't get to do that.
I mean, look at this.
You can't hit a nigga on Front Street and expect fair play. Like, nah, this nigga, yo, I feel like he stole him, yo. I'm being straight up. You stole him. Out of nowhere, his name in something. Like, huh? This nigga just hit me in the mouth. Nah. Nah. It's on. All day. Every day.
What the fuck are you talking about, my nigga? No, I still don't. Nope, I'm not saying.
You can't tell. They can tell because they can look at their analytics, but you can't.
Right. Oh, hold up. Oh no, that's wrong. God damn it. All right, hold up. Not that. Let me see. No, I see.
No, I have never heard this quote before. Joe says, "All you know about me is what I sold you, dumb fuck. I sold out long before you ever even heard my name. I sold my soul to make a record, dipshit, and you bought it. You bought one. Maynard James Keenan too. I did not. I've never heard that quote before.
Hold up. Okay.
I think people get too comfortable with their social media shit. Honestly, people get too comfortable. That's kind of crazy. Like, imagine somebody going on there and saying that your couch got bed bugs or some shit. They ain't never been in your house a day in their motherfucking life, yo. They get on there and say your couch got bed bugs and shit. Fuck out of here.
I need to find. I know what I can do. I'll look at because I want to see what people are saying about this.
Yeah, what are people saying? And I wonder who influenced what they're saying. Because if he said that and it set off a chain reaction of people calling him, nah, it's dirty pool, yo. You know, people be running with narratives.
I'm gonna go to the post that the what's the word I'm looking for? Impartial post.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Are there impartial posts?
Well, I'm saying I'm not gonna go to his page.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to
Because the people that follow him is gonna be
right.
Yeah. It's a fact. It's facts.
I can find this shit over here.
I'm just saying. Let this be a lesson. Don't be the day multi-world gets the bag and y'all start seeing shit change. We will never get on here and tell you guys the entire situation. We will simply tell you what's about to happen. The behind the scenes shit is not for you to know. So if you get on your social media page and say, multi-world, that was a bunch of sellouts. When I see you, yeah. Somebody gonna have fold-away teeth.
You stupid. I cannot find the post. Did they delete? Oh, I see Stacey Dash's face.
I feel bad for you.
I mean, tis what tis.
He had to say, on site. So come out, say something. We get that bag and y'all start saying things change. And I don't know why you would be salty. They're gonna change for the better quality, this, more content, that, blah, blah, blah. All this other good shit that you getting the benefit from.
Hold up. That is factual for Multiworld. That is not factual for Versus necessarily.
No, it's not. No, I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about us.
Okay.
Let's get the bag and then shit get. And people say, looks like y'all over there selling that. When I see you,
did you receive your third stimulus check?
No.
I did.
That's
one of the posts. That's one of the posts.
No, but I did not. I have yet to receive my stimulus check from Moneybag Joe.
I knew you were gonna go there.
You know what I mean? He got you to the bag. What are you
at? Former Save-A-Lot employee starts 6-figure Airbnb business without owning property.
Huh?
I don't know how that's possible. He black though, so
all right, get your bag.
Right.
I don't know how you did it, but they saying you did it.
It's above board, and
they don't come and take that shit from you.
Yeah. No, I don't see the post anymore. What the hell happened to the post?
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna extrapolate some shit without knowing all the facts, since that's what we're doing now. I think somebody got a phone call. You little bitch ass nigga, you better take that shit down.
No, not his post.
Oh.
The post that Swiss and Timberland responded on.
You can't find that post anymore?
I don't see that post.
That's curious.
Right.
That's curious.
That's uber odd. Like,
now I would extrapolate on that, but since they weren't the ones that did that initial extrapolating, I'm gonna let them ride on that. But I do have some extrapolations up here. You know,
that's interesting.
Yes.
I ain't gonna hold you. That slides me a little bit back towards his side.
Listen. Nothing slide. He still shouldn't have said. You ain't know. Like nothing slide. But I will say this. That's
listen, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
I hear that George Bush ass shit. Listen.
Yo, this is funny. I did not expect this to not still be up though. Like, why is this not still here?
Well, maybe the ink ain't dried on shit. And maybe it's like, yo, y'all shouldn't have been talking about it.
All the articles and shit still up.
But no ownership type. Like, not who is the dominant ownership that ain't been put out there. We don't know. Don't nobody know. And then them putting it out there like that, you know, maybe some motherfuckers don't want to know how small of a percentage they got. That could be it.
That's why both of these, if that's the case, if that's the case, those are both reasons why you don't put your fucking foot in your mouth.
Right.
Because he should not have come out of nowhere talking about some sellout shit.
Right.
Because this was 2 stories. Both of them said sellout. One of them, the first one had hashtag sellout, and the second one was the one where he said them niggas still sellouts.
Right. And we also need to understand from which that word, that term, it's not the way people use it for everything now, but in business, there's been plenty of people that have a startup, they create an app, they do some shit like that, and then a larger company offers them more money than they have the infrastructure to be able to earn on their own, even with the good idea. And they go, well, shit, I had plenty of ideas up here. Let me get this capital right now. And now I have funding for the next idea that I have. And on top of that, I'm lit. I'm lit at this point. I don't have to worry about the need for money. My family don't have to worry about that shit no more. And the first thing we say is, oh, you sold out. You know, specifically, when you start talking sellout, I be talking about the guy that went and decided to work for the FBI to tell on the Black Panthers. Nigga, you a sellout. Right. You a sellout. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Tim Scott getting on Fox News talking about woke supremacy is just as bad as white supremacy. Nigga, you a sellout. That's some sellout shit to be saying out your mouth. I'm talking about the shit that she, whose name shall not be spoken on this show, be doing all the goddamn time. That's some sellout shit. You know what I'm saying? That Stacey as well. Like, yo, when you start talking about we went into business, we created this, and they offered us a bag. We know the extent of what our capabilities are to be able to push this to the point where it's going to make this shit ton of money. We know that. Y'all motherfuckers don't know what we doing.
Hold on. Argument, we don't know that.
It's not full creative control. But okay, so is Thriller a label?
Triller.
Is Triller a label? I didn't know it was.
From reading everything I read about the company, it would be the label equivalent of like how a social. So how can I say this?
Is it like Slaps?
No, I don't think it's like Slaps. Fucking asshole. The equivalent of like Apple TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apple TV is the equivalent for content as a record label would be to music.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
So, Triller, it being a social media app, could kind of fall into that category.
Now, in order for you to have a platform on Triller, do you have to pay, or like what's the deal with that? Is that the same as having a platform, a profile on Facebook where you don't pay shit, you just on there?
I don't know. And it could be like Spotify. I'm not sure, but all I'm saying is we don't know that.
Right.
I
still wouldn't count it as sell. Listen, maybe
I know. No. I'm not talking about the sellout thing.
Right.
I'm talking about a specific comment. It's not like their artists signing over full creative control.
Oh,
we don't know that.
We don't know.
We don't know that they didn't sign over full creative control of Versus.
That's true. We haven't seen the contract yet. We haven't seen the contract yet.
That argument was not even introduced at all. It's easy to say that you're the owner of something. It's infinitely easy to say that you're owner of something.
Especially when it's true.
It
depends on what it is, nigga. I can't get on here and say I own Amazon. Ain't nobody gonna buy that shit. I mean, I can say it, but nobody buying that shit.
If it comes out tomorrow that Land of the Dead Productions had an exclusive deal with Amazon or some Joe Budden Patreon shit, Joe Budden could have come out and say he owns Patreon.
Right.
He could have.
He could have came out and said it. He'd be lying his ass. I'll probably lose the deal. Like, why would you put that shit in? Why would you do that? Why would you put your deal in jeopardy when you stand to make some money off this?
Because the people that own it, that goes back to my original little tiny blip in their response. The people that own it don't give a fuck if you say you own it.
No. Well, okay. All right. So I can't speak for those folks. I don't know. I wouldn't even know. I couldn't pull them out of a lineup. But I'm gonna tell you this: I would have a problem with a motherfucker saying they own Land of the Dead Entertainment.
Right.
It's mine, and you publicly go out there and say, "No, you don't get no. That's my shit. You're not going to run around saying it," because now I start thinking identity theft. I start thinking in terms of that, like.
That's funny. Yo, I'm gonna say Jeff Bezos. Texas YouTube channel.
Nobody knew that Jeff had bars. See, that's why. No, I'm all about
money can give you anything.
I'm all about the narrative, yo. You not taking, you not running with no shit that nah. I'm pushing back.
Listen to me clearly. If I am an owner of $1 billion situation, I don't give a fuck what nobody say about them.
So you don't think that somebody running around saying they own your shit, that it's now also not possible if they get people to believe that it's not possible for them to be out there incurring things on the name of your, like attempting to incur things on the name of your shit.
Absolutely possible.
I ain't with it.
You without any evidence, you will not get me to believe that Timbaland and Swiss Beats have a majority ownership of this $1 billion company. So by that, I'm saying the people that do have this majority ownership don't got no problem with them saying they own it. Timbaland literally said, "We own everything."
He said, "We own everything."
His Swiss Beats words were, "But we own Triller." Timbaland responded and said, "We own everything."
When he said everything, was he talking we own Triller and Versus? That what he's saying?
There's no other context. That's what I'm saying. You can't, if I am wrong, I am wrong. If it comes out tomorrow that between the two of them, they have a 51% stake in this company, then I'll bring it back up on the next episode.
Right.
You cannot convince me that's the case.
Right.
And they're saying they own it. And
I'm saying to the point that, yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying to the point is, if I own something, I own it. You don't get to go around presenting yourself, going on news shows and all this other shit, talking about you own my shit. Like
that only applies to me if you have nothing to do with it. So, like, if Kristen was walking around here saying she has a production company, Multi-World Entertainment, I don't give a fuck.
She does, though.
She's a part of Multi-World.
Right, she does.
But her stake isn't as high as ours.
Right, because we're early adopters. Right.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Right. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about that.
If someone from a group that I will not name, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, starts talking about they own Multi, then I have a problem.
Yeah, you should.
But that's two different things.
You should.
This is somebody who is completely no argument. I know that. But when you say you own everything, that is not that's not a minority share.
Right.
That's not what everything implies everything.
Wait a minute. So this is my thing about that. Versus is an individual entity. Or was.
No, not any was.
Or was.
Yeah.
Triller is right. So
Versus was acquired by Triller.
So Triller bought Versus.
Yes.
So could they have meant in the beginning there was Versus and we owned it, nigga. We owned it.
That's common knowledge.
But wait a minute. But then this deal, this Triller thing happened. Are they saying they own that too? Is what I'm trying to say.
Swiss Beats said, "But we own Triller."
If they
said, "We own everything."
If they own Triller and they at first owned Versus as an individual entity, they own everything. I'm just saying, like, if they already did. My question is, did they already own Triller before this?
No.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
No.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Stake in Triller before this.
They had a what?
Had no stake in Triller before this.
That's my point. That's why when I was asking, did they own? When they said own everything, I thought this was a case of they own Triller somehow. I don't know how that worked. I don't know how that would work. And they owned Versus. And then when they did this,
they 100% owned Versus.
I thought it was Vince McMahon, making SmackDown a separate promotion, and
Right.
that's what I thought
No,
you were
no,
talking
no,
about.
They 100% owned Versus.
Mhm,
They 0% owned Triller.
mhm.
Now Triller has bought Versus and brought them on as shareholders.
Okay.
Now again,
So, okay, I see
know
what you're
what
saying.
the share percentage is.
I see
We
what
don't
you're
know
saying.
that.
Right.
And there's, like I said, if I'm wrong and somehow, listen to me clearly. If this is the case, I'd be more upset at whatever dude name is because I don't watch
I don't remember his name either. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I would be more upset at him. And like,
See, Og thought the same thing. I thought they at least owned Triller or took a majority stake out of the deal. Right. I thought that's what I thought they were saying.
the whole thing is we don't know if they took a majority stake.
Hmm.
That's the whole thing.
Right.
That's why my pushback is my pushback, because like I said, if I own some shit that's successful and somebody that's associated and has some ownership is
Yeah.
running around talking about they own it, I don't give a fuck. I don't care
me
about
either. Me either.
So
because you technically do, motherfucker.
yeah, you
technically
guys,
Right.
you know,
Right.
you're part of the
Right.
But for them to just be like, no, we own this shit. So it's like we own Triller, telling me like we own everything. I'm like,
Right.
Maybe. I could be wrong. They could have introduced these two African American men and allowed them to take complete control of their company.
yo, you just hit him with a Rex. What's that dude name that wrote that out? You just hit him with that. You just hit him with one of those right there, yo. Nigga, I know subtle trolling, motherfucker. That's what I do.
100% possible. However,
Oh
on
shit.
the surface, that seems highly unlikely.
Look, all I know is that motherfucker from Power ain't had no cars to come out of his
No.
fucking face. He has nothing to do with no deal that they did, and then just I'm gonna put my 2 cents worth.
Unless
motherfucker sell out.
some sour grapes, because maybe
Could be.
he had some type of dealings.
Now that would be it. If it comes out that it was some shit going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about, that he was also involved in attempting to acquire or do whatever, and they ain't go with him, they went with somebody else, then that would explain him coming out. Them niggas sellouts.
I don't understand. I don't know who he is, so I don't understand why he felt so strongly about it.
He needed to speak on it, right?
Yeah.
Right. I don't get that either. But I also listen. I have a heart because I understand that everybody doesn't know what's going on in other people's lives and what they are planning or plotting to do next, right? So I get a classic example with the whole comic book thing. Great, and I don't give a fuck what motherfuckers say to us. If Marvel come over and say, we want them characters and we willing to offer you this amount, and it's enough,
Right?
There's a price for it.
Right.
It's enough. I'm taking it because I know what I'm trying to do beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't speak when it comes to business shit like that. I am real iffy because there are some scenarios where I absolutely say, if somebody sell out their employees to a point where it leaves them in the lurch and they ain't had to do it that way, yeah, you sold your people out, yo. It's just simple. Like, they was relying on you for this job, for these benefits and shit like that, and you went and you did this dumb fuck shit and then didn't say nothing to them. You ain't do none of that. Yeah, you sold your folks out. You know what I'm saying? Sold your folks out. But when it comes to like, I started some shit, I built it up, somebody wanted to pay me an ungodly amount of money for it. I'm counting the money and I'm looking like,
Well, my thing is, what would you have me do? Really, like what in the event that I'm building something and it becomes a hit and it becomes wildly successful,
right?
And somebody decides, you know what, I want in on that.
I'm gonna give you a bag, man.
or maybe majority ownership of my company, whatever. What would you have me do?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what they would have you do. The guys that talk like this, you are supposed to keep it, even if you don't really like. Once it gets businesses are, it's kind of weird how, and Joe know what I'm talking about. Joe's a business owner. There's a certain size of the business
Mhm.
that you might be comfortable running.
Right.
But when it starts to expand, there might come a time where like, yo, I can't handle this.
Mhm.
I can't handle this. And I could continue to attempt to and tell myself I could, and then wind up going out of business because I couldn't handle that. Or I can make a deal with somebody else where I still get a percentage off of, but they run the thing, and that my employees keep their jobs. There's a whole lot of it. There's a lot of different ways you can make a decision in business that does not involve you actually being a sellout. And I think niggas use that word too liberally, especially when they don't know everything that's going on.
Facts.
You know,
that is my biggest contention.
Oh, and this is the other thing that bothered me too. Like what Joe just said. Have you ever noticed the people who throw around that words like sellout haven't built things themselves? And I be telling people, if you have to have some sort of experience in what's happening now and some knowledge about what's happening in this situation before you can then judge me and say, you ain't, especially when you ain't ever do it. You've never done, you have no experience in this lane. You didn't study it. You ain't do nothing. But now you out here telling your fine, astute knowledge, business knowledge is now here telling the world that I sold out. The fuck out of here. Like, fuck out of here. You ain't, nigga. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know how much of this is getting conflated between the story and personal.
It all is
right because I'm strictly talking about the story itself. Yeah. When you interject personal things in a story like this, where there are almost no facts available, it kind of clouds things up a little bit.
Have you met us? That's kind of what we do. It was
no.
Yes, we do.
No, I am not allowing.
Yes, we do.
Don't know who we are to hear that bullshit. And think about the truth. No, the vast majority of the time we have facts.
No, that's not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about on this show, we'll start out with a story.
Facts.
And that conversation will expand and grow and go into different territories. That's what we do. So this
people that are new.
Okay, that's true. But this particular story has expanded beyond because we don't know enough facts.
We don't know shit.
Right, we don't know shit. We don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Look, Joe say I'm facing that now. If someone offers me a bag of money, I'm in the win. You can't judge somebody. It's business. It's business. Let somebody come in this motherfucker.
See, here's the thing. What am I selling out to?
That's my question. What are you talking about?
If I built this, then I'm only beholden to my family.
Did you the guy that called you a sellout? Did he help? Because now I'm on my sister Marissa always talking that little red hen shit. Now I'm on my little red hen shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was me.
You with me shooting in the gym?
Fuck was you at?
Did I say that this was about some embetterment of
right
particular group of people,
right,
and they are no longer going to be served by this move?
Right.
If any of those is true, call me a sellout.
Facts.
Other than that, I don't understand
what you're talking about. What expectation did you have?
Right.
Like Joe said, this is the shop was just talking about. Running a growing business takes a lot out of you. Yes, the fuck it does. And that's why I always look at people who never built anything like that to be willy-nilly just tossing shit terms. I'm like, yo, you don't even have a clue, one, as to how all of this even came to be in the first place. You don't know what my main goal was in the first place.
Right.
So how can you tell me I'm selling out my ideals when you didn't know what my ideals were in the first place? Right. You need to fall all the way back while I get this bag and go to Belize. You need to fall several steps back. And plus, owning a business, running a business is a lot of work. We know. It's a lot of work, right? you may get to a point in your life where you don't want to do that work anymore.
Facts.
Where you realize that the one
I'm at
thing
that point now.
no,
I
not
do it because shit.
no.
Yeah.
I will not feel that way until we get it. And then
No,
after we get it,
listen,
I might feel that way.
I am at that point now. If somebody tomorrow,
Oh, well, listen.
exactly. If somebody tomorrow, listen. We got two bills for you. Two big bills for you. Can we have multi-world? Where do I sign, sir?
First thing I'm gonna do,
and we'll find another number.
Yeah, I'll pull our folks together. Like,
right,
yo,
look,
multi-world
is over. Multi-world is over. We're gonna use this money to do some other shit.
Yeah. We about to do some other shit.
Something where I don't have to work so hard.
Facts.
I don't have to be mediator, counselor, director, personality.
Hold up. Target of witty barbs from an old man.
Right, man. This ain't the life. I don't know. People look at this shit. I have people all the time talking to me like, man, I see what y'all doing over there. Blah, blah. No, you don't.
I be getting that too. Like,
no, you don't. You have no idea.
This shit is hard.
Difficult. I put on a brave face.
You know what it is, though?
I'm in an abusive relationship.
Nah, yo, shut up. You know what it is, though, for real? It is, there are aspects of it that are fun, and they get to see the fun aspects of it. They don't get to see the other shit that's like, man, once we get this bag, you won't see me in front of this camera again unless it's on private vlogs on my private channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't see my face again.
All that. Whatever happened to it? Oh, no, I'm here. I'm in the back.
Yeah. And you're probably watching something we had something to do with and enjoying it. Yeah. Not knowing that we had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
It's still us.
Yeah, it's still us. But nah, like, because life is short. The one commodity you have that you cannot get back is more time. And some people don't, like, especially if they spent years building that shit, and actually they had it in them. They had it in them to build it to this point, but now they're getting tired. And then some money bag Joe come walking over and say,
President Biden is not going to buy multi-world. This is not him.
Well, maybe Moneybag Joe Schmo will come over with 2 big bags of fucking money and say to you and to me, hey, I like what y'all doing over there. I really do. I think it's dope. Y'all have built up quite a,
My first response would be, President Biden, aren't you supposed to be?
Yo, I said Joe Schmo. You're so dumb. You're so dumb.
My bad.
You are so dumb.
I apologize.
You know what I'm saying?
Andy cosigns. This shit is work.
It is. It is work. They come over and say we like the theming and everything that y'all put together and all that. We would like to purchase it and do some other stuff with it.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm gonna say is thank you for acknowledging how brilliant this shit is. We are the new, in fact, Saturday morning funnies.
I mean, okay.
Right. Okay. But how much you talking about?
Right.
Not, sir, how dare you insult me with sir, how dare you insult me with offering me money for my brain baby. This baby going up for adoption.
My brain is still here.
Right. I still can come up with some other shit. And with that money,
facts.
Right. So how much you talking about?
Limitless. Nigga. Give me 2 million right now. For this shit?
Nigga, yes.
Hey, y'all.
Yes.
Meeting now. I'm at work. Fuck your job.
Yeah. This is more important than your job.
This is more important right now. Don't quit.
No, don't do that.
But,
you're not gonna be able to do that. But
you're not gonna be able to do that.
We're about to infuse a whole bunch of capital into the next project.
Right.
We're about to infuse capital into the next project.
All facts.
You know what I'm saying? They can have all the branding, they can have all this shit. We'll come up with something else.
Come up with something else.
Come up with something else.
It is.
You can have it.
Absolutely. The only issue with that, though, obviously it's hypothetical, but still trying to inject some realism into it.
Mm-hmm.
They would want one of us to be still associated.
Probably just for
Yeah.
the synergy of it. So that was, I mean, listen, that's something Addy just had to do.
Yo, facts.
Something Addy gonna
Hey,
have to
you
do.
gotta take one for the team, big bro.
He got to do the sweatshop.
Hey.
The sweatshop game. Addy's
Hey.
game, bro. Keep that shit going.
Hey, you gotta take it for the team, big bro.
You know what I'm saying? We trying to get this bag. And listen, you get in the bag too, but you got to continue doing the.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all.
I mean, transfer.
It's about what somebody want with their life. Like Joe says, I'm 52, black, morbidly obese, hypertension, diabetes, bad knees, and a bad back. I spent many sleepless nights worrying about how I'm going to make payroll, going months without a paycheck. If someone wants to pay me for my sweat equity, the only thing I'm selling out is my burden.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm talking about right there.
Eddie
said, I saw that coming. No, but that's like what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Ain't no reason to not better your situation, especially if your situation was you.
Yeah,
you
I did this. I built this.
Then absolutely take the opportunity to better your situation. I don't.
Yo, if you want to pay me to be in palm trees and warm weather, I'm taking. What the fuck?
It's a hard one to answer, but I think I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah.
Like,
saying, yo.
It's
a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It is. So for those that might come across this either podcast when it goes on Spotify or across the YouTube channel, who have a bag, went back and looked at all of the shit we did, and you see all of this is cool, is set up nice for you, just to take it and run with that shit. We are accepting offers.
Yeah, just come holler at us.
Come holler at us. We are accepting offers.
Yeah.
Come pay me. Come help me sell my burden.
Thanks. All things.
Shit. Just saying. So I think, is that the last story? I think that was it. That's it. So we want to thank you guys once again for helping us bring Saturday mornings back. All of you that listen to this live, and this is another reason why those of you that are not listening to it live, we definitely appreciate you listening to it on Spotify. Helps us with our numbers, but we would love for you to be here with us right now. Where else would you want to be? We are the new Pac-Man. We are Thundar the Barbarian. We are the Super Friends. We are your Saturday morning cartoon. Come back home. Every Saturday, 11-ish on the Black Culture Geeks with a Z channel. And be a part of this. We don't always get to a whole bunch of comments, but we do what we can. Just depends on what we're doing at that time. But you get to see all the funny expressions, the exasperated expressions on SPJ's face when I say something I probably shouldn't have, or I'm a little out of line, out of pocket. You get to see that live. It's hilarious.
Indeed.
So you need to come and subscribe to the channel. And those of you that are here, please like the YouTube stream. Please like and even share. Help us help you bring Saturday mornings back.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Interesting campaign.
I'm trying to work it. Hold up. I'm trying to work it. So, for my man SPJ,
yo,
I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, and that includes Addy, who is going to have to stick around when we close the lights. We are out. Peace.